Which mentor was going to keep quiet? I've seen where's
Will the team be getting a video of the recording later? Or
later, yeah.
Yes, okay, yes, thank you.
Hi.
Yeah.
Sleep. Went to bed by 11. Okay, good job. Okay, those of you who stayed up all night, good luck. You can go home and sleep tonight. You guys ready almost?
Yeah.
Okay, so you just stay your phone. Brian,
Screen that's being.
are we good? Did you start?
2 minutes.
Huh?
2 minutes.
Okay, so we'll give you,
Quick orientation.
okay. So to come do an orientation run. Okay, everybody, you're gonna wanna know something.
Yeah.
This microphone? You want this microphone? Okay. No?
The one that you're holding a new, yes.
What do I do with this?
That's for Q&A.
Okay.
Okay, is it working?
Yeah.
All right, everybody, just a quick set of instructions. When you're up here, this is your microphone. You will share, right? You will pass it on to whoever needs to speak. The timer, Elena, is our timer. You'll get a 6-minute notice, which that says 2 minutes left. Then you will get a stop at about 8 minutes or at 8 minutes. That means finish your sentence. You don't just stop, but finish your sentence. And then we'll say, one of you can say, and does the audience have any questions? We'll do a Q&A and then we'll move on. Okay. And the people who are here are the first 4 groups. And then during a transition, we'll move. The reason I don't want you moving around during while people are presenting is 1, don't walk in front of anybody. 2, we're recording from up there. And so we don't want heads bobbing and people walking in front of the recording. So if you need to leave or go somewhere, you go out either up that way or down this way on this side.
Did we get the flow because they're coming in and so they need to go out that? They need to go
Yes,
back.
yeah. So people who are speaking go that way, people who are coming in come this way. Okay, but everybody here, if you need to leave for some reason, you go around and out this door, not in front of presenters.
You want to tell them about these 2 rows?
Yeah, I did. As I walk. Okay, so these 2 rows are for presenters. We'll ask you to transit when there's a transition break. We'll have you guys move and we'll call up the next set of groups. Okay, this group knows what they're doing.
Running.
No running up and down the steps.
No horse.
It's like at a pool. No horseplay. Don't push anybody. I don't know. Don't splash anybody. Be nice. All right. Okay, we're gonna get going. Ryan, are you ready for us? All right, we're all ready. Welcome everybody to our AI Summer Camp Showcase. Yay, you did it, you made it. Our first welcome speaker is Jory Hatzel. He is Executive in Residence at and Strategic Technology Initiatives at the California Community Colleges, and he's here to welcome you. Welcome.
Hey, good morning, everybody. There we go. All right, that's the energy we need. This is pitch day, right? Are you excited? Yeah. Are you nervous? A little bit. Yeah, that's okay. That's good. Like Anu said, I'm Jory Hatzel. I work with the California Community Colleges Chancellor's Office. So first of all, it's just great to see so many faces from across our system. You may or may not know we have 116 colleges in California, so it's kind of a lot. But it's great because it represents the diversity of our state, and I'm really excited to see the work that you've done because you've been here all week, right? And you're solving real world challenges for us. I was part of the conversation with Anu around collecting some of these challenges and how were we going to get enough and what were they going to be. So I am personally just very excited to see what you have to show us today. I also get to be one of your judges, which is a total honor for me. So really excited. And just want to point out a couple things, right? You are in the work you're doing this week, you're not only solving real world challenges, but you're gaining skills. You're getting to get in and mess with the AI and do some creative work and some development, but you're also gaining a lot of these team skills and a lot of the things that make you more hireable if this is the direction you want to go. So we are super excited to have you here. I want to just a couple quick housekeeping things. I want to thank Anu and thank Nick and Ryan for their leadership in putting on this summer camp. So will you guys give them a big round of applause? And then we also want to thank the counselors, the mentors, the folks that stepped up to help with IT support, all the logistics. Let's give all of them a round of applause too. And so again, it's such a privilege for you to be here this week. We've had so many applications, so many people that wanted to be here. You got a spot and then you showed up, which is like the first test, right? You came, you're here, it's Friday. Leverage that nervous energy, put it into your pitch, and we're just excited to get going with you. So thank you for being here and I look forward to the presentations.
Oh, thank you very much. All right, so we're going to start with our first team, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Hello, everyone. I'm Angela from Santa Ana College.
I'm Ruben from College of the Canyons.
I'm Anthony from Mount San Antonio College.
And I'm Matthew from Ohlone College.
Our client is Hartnell College, and we are very privileged to be the first team to present. So let's meet Sandy. Sandy is a full-time student at Hartnell University College, but however, he works morning and afternoon. So the only classes she can take are the night classes. On a Monday night at 11 p.m., she sits down on at the computer, start to work, but she froze because she forgets her password. She has poor vision, so she cannot see the screen very well. She has some carpal tunnel problem, so she can type very well. However, when she tries to use a text chatbot with all the challenges, the help is not available. What can she do? So what if there's a video chatbot that doesn't sleep or eat or take a break that can help her at any time that she needs?
And that's where Personify IT comes in. It's a Hartnell College support, available 24/7, whenever, wherever, no matter the circumstances. The IT, finance, student courses with a chatbot that actually waves back. Now, we're just gonna move on to a demonstration real quick. So if you guys could hang in with me, I'll just drag the video up to the screen right now. So as you can see, you can choose between the video assistant and the normal text bot, but we just chose the video assistant for our demo. And you can join it as if it's like a normal Zoom call. Hey there, I'm Alex, your IT assistant at Hartnell College. What can I help you with? Could you show me how to reset my password? Based on the retrieved results, here are the steps to reset your password. 1. Visit the password reset. 2. Follow the instructions provided on the page to reset your password. Additionally, ensure that your new password... So as you can see, it gives you like your instructions on the left as if it's a live person that's talking to you, and it gives you the link on the right, so it gives you the resources to access what he's talking about. Hash, percent, etc. After resetting your password, you will need to enroll in DUO two-step verification using your Hartnell College email and the newly created password. If you encounter any issues, you can seek assistance from the IT service desk or use the live chat support button. Could you send me the link to the IT department website? And again, the links pop up. Based on the retrieved results, the IT department website is available. All right, thank you. Yes, and then at the end of the call, you can submit your email in there, and then you can get a full transcript and summary of your call, and you can rate your experience so that we get a better experience for the users. Yeah, and as you can see, this is an example from that previous call. So the top picture is a summary of the whole transcript that you had, and below it is the exact transcript, and it gives you a full detailed breakdown of your conversation. And these are the 6 of the main features that we actually have for our IT chatbot, but I'm just going to quickly go through it. Firstly, we have, of course, a human-like engagement. You are basically talking to a real human. Not a real human, but like somewhat of a real human. And secondly, the link that it is included in the chatbot is actually a real link. So like you don't have to really worry about if the link would give you like a virus or like start sending you spam email junks. Third, we have feedback loop for continuous improvement. It kind of relates to our 4th point as well. So on both sides, the user and the IT part, I will talk about the user. If the user dislike anything about the chatbot, about the experience that they had, the user can actually input their feedback, and you go to the IT side where the IT will, based on the review and the comment, the feedback, to further improve the chatbot. And 5th, transcript delivery for student records, just in case those students forgot what the video persona told them about, they can always go back to the transcript, reread it, and follow through the steps again. And lastly, personalized chatbot using a knowledge base. So again, It is not like a Gemini or ChatGPT where it gives you general information. It is an actual LLM model built specifically around Hartnell College knowledge base.
And here's our pipeline. So it starts with the voice from the user, which gets converted into text using Tavis, which is a third-party software. And then it goes into our knowledge base using Bedrock and RAG. And then that gets put into normal conversational language. Instead of having the bullet points that gets output from the chatbot, we turn it into normal conversational language so that it's easier to use. And then that gets output into the Tavis to be spoken into words and into video. And the session ends when the user wants to, or it ends after 2 minutes of being idle.
And these are the services that we use from the AWS. First, we have DynamoDB. It's basically a database where it stores records like session ID, date, the rating, and the low rating reason. Secondly, we have S3, where it's responsible for keeping the full transcript of the entire call in JSON form. Third, we have Bedrock. Basically, it helps with writing the summary of the entire chat/call. As you can see from the earlier slide, there's a part for summary. And lastly, we have SES, which is responsible for the entire function of being able to receive the transcript to your email.
So as you can see from our demo as well as our explanation that this is a fully functional app. However, just because it's functional doesn't mean it's ready to be published. And so these are some of the steps we will take in order to make it to that publishable level. Some simple ones include making more guardrails, although we addressed the most common cases, we need to add further guardrails against chatbot misuse, as well as fixing UI and text formatting to improve user experience and probably even represent the school themes and so forth. Some other things we can do is have it integrate with have it be able to do user identification so that it can improve security as well as personalize your experience. And lastly, this solution that we have currently is a hybrid solution, so we would like to think about possibilities of integrating it to the cloud.
And thank you guys for listening, and a special thank you to our staff and mentors at Hartnell College and our mentor Nick, who had to leave early. Thank you.
Now we're going to open up to questions, but at the same time, this is our LinkedIn QR code. Feel free to scan it and connect with us. We are very open for connecting, try to get that 500 plus connection.
Nice job, everybody. All right, questions?
Yeah.
I'm going to say it loudly. So on the architecture diagram, I saw you were using ng-rock for tunneling. What was your thought process behind deciding to use that for a streaming service?
So we mostly use ngrok mostly as a way to just live demo our app. We just need to find a way to have the front end communicate with the back end and for us to be able to interact with it just for live demo purposes. I know it's like a reverse proxy that allows people to access it from the outside, but as far as we're concerned, we just implemented it just so that we can communicate properly for Tavis, and also for Tavis to interact properly with the server and for other users to interact with it too.
During your test cases, what were the responses when the AI wasn't able to give an answer of a subject it didn't know about?
So this is from the Hartnell College LM model. What you're trying to say, or you could just say based on the retrieval result, there's nothing in our knowledge base that could answer your question.
That's why we have this small scale, the UI, that's what we are working on. So right now it's not taking anything small talk. So for instance, if you say thank you, they will say he cannot help.
All right. Great.
Thank
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, next up we have Team Lambda Legion.
Go.
Woohoo!
It's on track. That was team 12.
Are we going out of order?
We have.
Okay, last time we went in order, so all the judges just entered everything in team 1. Sorry.
Just renamed the captain. Judges, that was team 12. We are not going in order of 1 through 16 because we have different situations, so we have a different order.
I'll rename.
So just rename your tab, please. And this is now Team Lambda Legion, which is team 7. So for the, now just go to your team 7 tab. You ready? Okay.
Hello everyone, our name is Lambda Legion, and today we're going to present to you guys what is our problem for the SB2 instructional materials. My name is Nicholas, and I come from Skyline College.
Hi, my name is Anna, I come from Foothill College.
Hi, my name is Mohammed, I'm from Saddleback College.
Hi, I'm Lee, and I'm from Anza College.
I'm Brianna, and I'm from Skyline College. First, we're going to start off with a video for an overview of our presentation.
I have a lot of things to do. What should I do? I still haven't graded my student quizzes. And now I have to fill this stupid XP12 form? Oh no!
This book is gonna cost $100? What? It doesn't show when I register the class. Oh my gosh. I think I should have to drop the class now.
Yes. So as you can see from our video, the XP12 form really is the XP12 material, which categorizes the the material just covers the categorizes the instructional. So ultimately, it's really frustrating for professors as they don't have
Oh yeah. So yeah. So the problem we have to solve right now is like the professors have to fill out this HP12 form, which categorize the cost of materials, and they have to submit it to like the state office, but which is like pretty much a long form. And if you have to take like 3-4 classes, and then so like there are a lot of information that if you have to put in like more data entries, that like increases the chance of like data errors in the long run. And that's not the only bottleneck happening in the system. Another bottleneck is like after the professor submit the form, that another person admin has to double check all the data and all the course materials, course code, and the textbook codes and the links. And then after that, they have to put in all of those data into 3 different data entries to send it to 3 different locations. So there's like a 4 tags for each course. And so every quarter we have like more than 100 courses. So that's like more than like 500 tags that people have to do. And then, so the students cannot get access to those course materials like on time. So we want to
streamline the process so it's much more easier and accessible for students as well. And it's also much more faster and much more streamlined for professors so that they're not having a hard time and it's not frustrating for them, so that they can go on and focus more on grading just like their student paperwork, and then also offering support for their students too.
All right. So this is what we are trying to do is to automate the data transfer between the 2 end users. One end is going to be the faculty, and the other one end will be this school website, where the students can get access and see the course materials before they make a decision whether to take the class or not. And then the same data will be sent to the bookstore where they can choose to buy the book. And also another place we want to send the data to is the state database. We know that because it's a long form, not all the professors participated in filling the data, the CER code form. So only 20% of the professors participated in it. So we don't have a correct data to keep track of the affordability in the higher education. So that's the process we are trying to streamline here.
And now we're going to do a quick demo to see how we streamline the process before we get into the architecture. Okay, so this is the only form that the professor is going to have to fill out with our system. They are going to enter all their class information, including the CRN, the section, the quarter, the year, and then their first and last name. And then once they load the course, they're now going to have two options. They can use existing resources in which they can search with a number of filters. So they could do it by textbooks they've used, classes, and say they want to use an OUR resource. We see there's already one available for chemistry, so they can just add that. And then you can also add a new code. So you can enter an ISBN for a textbook. The system's gonna autofill if the information is publicly available. The only field you have to manually enter right now is the price, because we cannot have direct access to bookstore prices. We wanna make sure that's accurate for students that would go through the bookstore. And then once you add those resources, that is the end of the professor's part in this process, because what our system does is it automatically takes the resources and calculates the ultimate XB12 code for the students. On the admin front, you're going to see the submission that the professor made. And this is where somebody can check the information, make sure that the codes are correct, and then they can edit it if necessary, or they can approve it. Once it's approved, that's when it can be sent externally to the course schedule and the bookstore and the MIS reporting system. For now, these are mock pages, so these would have to actually be put officially into the databases. But for the course materials on the bookstore front, you get all the resources for the classes, and then they can send those to the bookstore so they know what resources needed for a certain semester. And then for the course schedule, it's going to include the cost code so students can see that when they are registering, and that could also be adapted to the school website. And then the MIS, it includes the proper information for the codes, and then you can export it as an MIS data file.
This slide shows how our system works from a faculty member, it becoming part of a course schedule. A faculty member submits a faculty survey hosted on AWS CloudFront, and that hits API gateway, and it routes to AWS Lambda. AWS Lambda is our engine, and it handles ISBN lookup, textbook search, resource creation, and course adoption.
All right, so the professor can choose to either to use the AssistINT data that the other terms and other professors have used before. If they do that, we'll go to the open search database, which uses the AI to do the vector search. And then if they want to use the new data, they can look up the ISBN number and submit it. After it's submitted, it will go to the admin page that you see in the video, and the admin can, the admin can approve it, and then those data will be stored in the two database, which is the Dynamo database and open source. After, and then data is satisfied, admin is satisfied with the data, they can publish it into the 3 locations that we are targeting right now. And then we use this whole infrastructure. We build this infrastructure with the CDK, which is the infrastructure as a code design policy here.
So if you guys can take something from this presentation, is that this project is 100% scalable. We're trying to spread it out throughout the whole California community colleges. And just to wrap up, we're the Lambda Legion, and we want to be at the forefront with you guys and keep moving forward. Thank you. We're the Lambda Legion.
Great job, everybody. All right, questions? We've got time for 2 questions. 2 questions. You guys are that thorough, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Nice job.
Okay, next we have GavBot. And judges, this is team 8. Judges, it's team 8, GavBot.
Hello, my name is Mia Aguirre and I'm from Taft College.
Hello everyone, my name is Zita Arslan from the Anza College.
Hi, my name is Javel Boykins. I'm representing Coastline College.
Hello, my name is Margaret Malone and I'm representing College of the Sequoias.
Hello, my name is Miles Martinez. I'm representing Irvine Valley College. All right, you guys, we have something a little special for you guys. We're going to be doing a short skit all about GavBot. I know you guys are wondering, what is GavBot? It is our creation. It is our chatbot for Gavilan College. It helps out with the library. So it's going to be a little fun. It's going to be a little whimsical, and hopefully you all will enjoy it. Are y'all ready? Yeah! All right, let's get a countdown. 3, 2, 1. Action!
Hello? Is anybody in there? Oh, shoot. Oh, what time did the library close? Oh, man, I really need that textbook. You know what? Maybe I can call a friend. Yeah, dude. Do you know I could get my biology textbook? I don't know what time the library closed. Look at the syllabus. I didn't have time for that, dude. I needed it right now. And I broke my laptop last week. That's not my fault. Somebody griefed my server, bro. You're no help. Call the helpline. Ah, crud, it sent me to voicemail. Help! Help! Anybody out there? Please, anybody, I need my textbook! Hey, I heard you yelling. What's the problem here? I need my textbook now, and I don't know how to get it. The library's not open. I didn't know it closed today at the time that it did. You know, I've heard these problems way too many times before, and you know what? We created the solution. Meet GavBot.
Hello, I am GavBot. I am your online robot assistant. I can aid you with anything related to the library.
Whoa, what the heck? That thing is so cool! GavBot has access to all of the library, the website, the school website, so he has the knowledge for any question you want to ask 24/7. So whenever the library is closed, whenever the librarians are unavailable or busy, GavBot is always here to answer any questions you might have. So he can help me with my textbook and my laptop? He can help with both. There's a drop-down of frequently asked questions. You can click any one of them or type your own question. He'll answer anything. Man, what can't this bot do? You know, he can't get me to this meeting. I actually gotta go. I'll have my associate tell you the rest. Who's gonna show me how to use this thing?
Did somebody call for an associate?
Yeah, okay, somebody was supposed to help me figure out how to use this thing. I know what it does, but how do I use it?
Well, follow me over to my laptop and I'll show you how it's done. Perfect. Sorry for the technical difficulty. So you said you had questions.
Yeah, I need to know how to get my biology textbook.
Perfect. Well, let me see if GavBot can help us with that. Give me one moment, please. Okay, perfect. So sorry for the technical difficulty, but we can continue. So you said you need help with your textbook. Let's ask GavBot if it can help with our textbook. GavBot, I need a biology textbook. Enter.
So, in order to get a biology textbook, you can use a feature called OneSearch. It accesses the library's catalog and allows you to look for ebooks. However, if you do not want an ebook because you would like a physical textbook, you can go to the Galvin library bookstore in order to get or rent out a physical textbook.
What the heck? That told me way more than the librarian could tell me.
That's GavBot for you.
Okay, I got another one.
I broke my laptop. Can you give me another one?
You're asking for another laptop and you broke your first one?
Okay, I didn't borrow that from the school, so that one doesn't count.
Understood. Let's see if GavBot can help us with that. GavBot, I need a laptop. Enter.
So, in order to get a laptop, you are able to rent one out through the library laptop semester rent plan. In order to do this, you will fill out a form. I have a link to the form to this chat.
Whoa, this thing is freaking awesome. Okay, I got another one. GavBot, what's my favorite color?
What makes you think GavBot would know your favorite color?
You said it knew everything. Why would it know my favorite color?
You're correct. Let's ask GavBot. GavBot, what's my favorite color?
While this is a fun question, I am unable to answer what your favorite color is because it does not relate to the school library. However, I have linked the FAQs to this message if you would like to learn anything about the library.
Okay, I guess that's pretty cool. Okay, but I got one last one.
Just one more question?
Just one more. What if I have an emergency? Like, what if there's a fire, or what if there's an earthquake, or what if I'm dying?
Well, first of all, in an emergency, definitely do not freak out. But let's ask GavBot and see if we can figure it out. GavBot, I need medical assistance, safety, and security. Enter.
So, if it is a life or death emergency, the first thing you should do is call 911. However, if it is not life or death, I have linked the campus police number to this message, so you can call them.
Okay, I guess that is pretty helpful. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Well, even though GavBot's a robot, we still need to be polite and say, thank you, GavBot.
No problem. I am your online library assistant, here to assist you with anything you need.
Oh, shoot, my mom is calling. Gotta go.
What the? Okay, but who's going to tell me how the insides of this thing works? I know how to use it. I know what it does. But who's going to tell me how it does all of that?
Well, that's exactly what I'm here for. Oh, so GavBot is our AI chatbot for Gavilan College Library. I'm the CEO, by the way.
Nice to meet you.
So it's a AI chatbot that we use RAG, retrieval augmented generation. So what it does is, think of it as like this. So you wake up in the morning and you want to eat cereal, right? So you have to find milk. So where do you search for it? You don't go to the grocery store and you go to your fridge and look for it, right?
Yeah.
That's what GavBot does. It doesn't, for a student's question, it doesn't go all the way to the library's website and tries to find every small detail. It searches our storage, which is pre-filled with library information, such as research guides, FAQs, policies, and more. Which then, after it retrieves the data, the relevant information, it gives it to our LLM, which is GavBot, and combines with the student's question. So it mixes the cereal and the milk and generates a new response that's based on library's own resources and specific to our students' needs, which also makes it accurate and faster.
So that's why it's so fast. It's like it has a brain already, and then it just uses the AI and it filters all that cool information through it. How is this all possible?
And you know what's the best part of it is? These are all automated by AWS services, which makes it easy to implement, scalable, and always up to date.
That makes so much sense, dude. That's so cool.
Okay, that's the bot for you.
Yeah.
Nicely done, everybody. That had me rolling.
Any questions for us, guys?
How did you guys check the accuracy of some of the answers?
Well, we have run our own tests. We have different example PDF of the the student question and the responses that it should give. That we have basically checked that. We have done a lot of tests. We have tried edge cases, which looks like was working fine.
Where do you see logical extensions of what you've done already to kind of expand the use of it or scale the use of it across campus?
So the first thing that we did is we made a widget for them to easily just copy and paste the code in and then put that in their website. So they don't need to really do anything. They can just take the code, copy and paste it. If you're talking about for further features, one of the things that we wanted to do but we weren't able to do is get it to access like live data that's happening right now. For instance, if there's like an online book, and let's just say there's 5 books and then one of them gets checked out, you can go to GavBot and you could be like, hey, how many books have been checked out from the library's database? We weren't able to do that. We were able to give like a list of the books that are there and then provide them with a link to be able to check it themselves, but we haven't been able to have it go to the live database and be like, hey, there's these many books left. So that would be further implementation, what we would want to do in order to have it be better in the future.
Well, to add to that, we web scrape the library's website. So if you just change the Lambda function to the different website link to another college's library website, we are able to automate it. We can easily implement to other colleges as well.
Great. All right. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, GavBot. All right, next up we have Golden Match, which is judges Team 13. We have Team 13, which is Golden Match.
I can put on the slides, it's on the last one.
Are we on schedule? Nick, let me know if you have.
You guys good? Yeah.
Put it on there.
Come up and stand on the white so that you're more visible to the audience, and even when you're being recorded on the white, yeah.
Okay. Hello, this is our project that we have created. I love our little mascot that we created. It's, Jesus Munoz, and I'm a computer science major at Tech College.
Hi, I'm Brianna, and I'm a bio major at Skyline College.
Hi, I'm Marina Tribole from Saddleback College.
Hi, my name is Daniel Kim, and I'm a biomedical engineering major, and I'm representing Santiago Canyon College.
I'm Kingston Hua. I'm a data science major at College of San Mateo, and our service is Golden Match, which is an automated eligibility matching engine. So, last year at Golden West Community College, there are around 18,000 students currently academically enrolled. Out of those 18,000 students, 9,000 qualified for financial or academic support programs, but only out of those 9,000 students, 600 applied to EOPS. This situation applies to all support programs within GWCC. So this lack of program retention doesn't stem from students not qualifying. It stems from students not knowing about the program in the first place or the process being too tedious to apply.
It's not that for the staff, like the whole problem was that they don't have an efficient way to actually identify or contact and actually track these eligible students. And manually outreaching becomes way too slow, and which causes delay for those students who actually are eligible for those services and resources and have to wait to be contacted by the administrator. So on the students' side, they also lack program awareness to actually know what's available to them. And they're unaware of the full range of resources available through each program provided by their community college.
So when applying to these qualified programs, it becomes like too tedious going form, like the EOPS, CalWorks, all that, and they just might like, you know what, this is too much, I'm just gonna scroll on IG Reels.
Okay, so for the ask, our client asked us to send emails and texts to students who are 100% eligible for the, who are 100% eligible for the school programs. This includes EOPS, CalWorks, and CARE. In addition, the client asked us to create a dashboard. As you can see to your right, this allows admins to see who is eligible for which programs and to keep track of who has opted in or out via text or email.
Okay, so here's the full data pipeline for student personal information. And it first starts with FAFSA data, a FAFSA score, and CCC apply information, which is a basic community college enrollment form. And then it goes to Slate CRM, which we have Golden Match, which is integrated into Slate CRM, which is a system that community colleges use for student tracking and notification. And so Golden Match, it uses a rules-based binary system, which runs through student data, checking if they qualify for the specific program, where you could see on the top of the diagram. And once that's approved, it goes to Slate CRM again. Slate CRM will then send a notification through email and text to the student saying that they qualify for the program. And based off the student's action, the Slate dashboard will update. So now we're gonna do a demo.
Okay, so this is the dashboard that the staff is going to be able to see. It has all the students and for each program that each student qualify for. We did a test to check what the confirmation. Oh.
I'm so sorry. I tried to pause the video.
Is it going? Okay, so again, like all of the qualified programs, and these are the tests that we ran. That's the email that the student is going to receive. This is the confirmation. And then as you can see on the dashboard, it's going to be updated so the staff knows who accepted the program. The same thing, they're going to receive a text message where they can say yes or no, opting in or out. Again, the dashboard before the student accepts, and then they said yes, dashboard gets updated. We did a couple more tests. Just if the student already accepted and they try to accept again, it's just gonna tell them like, you already confirmed, you're good. Here's the link for you to make an appointment with a counselor. This is an example. If they say no, thank you, it's just gonna let them know. And then if we go to the dashboard, again, it's gonna show the staff they're not interested. You're also able to filter by program, and then it's just gonna show, and by time, because the client wanted it to be able to see if after 24 hours or 48 hours, if the student doesn't make an appointment, then they're gonna reach out to the student. And this is just a dashboard so they can check.
Okay, so for the impact, it impacts students because it helps with financial need. This includes textbook costs and other incentives. It also impacts academics, which includes priority registration and personal counseling.
The way it impacts Golden West Community College is that when the staff metric dashboard makes it so much easier, like to actually target these individual students who actually need a follow-up for these financial aid processes. And as well as this is going to cause an increase in the program enrollment to provide concrete evidence that this program actually needs more funding if ever unavailable and should be in to the student demand.
And so regarding the actual architecture of Golden Match, which we just saw in the demo and the video demonstration, we used a multitude of different resources and tools, one of the many being Next.js being a JavaScript framework, which allowed us to vibe code both the front end and the back end in one code base or in one project. The front end being, of course, what the user sees and actually interacts with, so like the mock-up phone that you saw, as well as the admin dashboard that you saw on the demo, the left and right sides of the screen. earlier. But essentially, the main thing that it does is it sends a Next.js sends a signal or a request to AWS's SES. Sorry, it's a lot of acronyms, but SES stands for Simple Email Service, which is what actually sends the email to the students. We also utilized AWS DynamoDB, DB standing for database. Essentially just a very large spreadsheet stored in the cloud, storing all the information on the students, their data, their records, their eligibility status. We also are Slate ready. What does that mean? Essentially, we made Golden Match to be as portable or as deployable as possible by making it capable of being exportable as a CSV file, and then importable on their already established CRM, their customer relations management tool that they call Slate, which is essentially their version of their dashboard. So all the things on our admin dashboard that we created could be imported. Oh, sorry. Oh, can I finish? Yeah. However, that process of importing onto their Slate would not necessarily be automatic. It would have to be done manually by a systems admin or IT person. But we tried to make it as user-friendly as possible by providing a instructions manual on the GitHub. Yeah.
Special thank you to Nick, Darren, and Ryan, our client Claudia Lee, our mentor Mason, and the rest of the other mentors.
Good job, everybody. All right, questions? Yes.
So you mentioned in the presentation text messaging, and I saw SES for email.
Right.
Is texting also implemented already?
So that's a great answer.
You want to answer? I'll try my best. So that's a great question. We would utilize AWS's SNS for the text messages. However, this might sound like a cop-up answer, but frankly, we tried to do it, but we ran across some issues with verifying the phone numbers. We had to request access, and them getting back to us, it would take too long. So we had to create the mock-up demo version of the phone. But for the next steps, we would definitely proceed with that. It's just a matter of time.
Thank you. All right, other questions?
Also, one thing to clarify is that when you go back to the data pipeline, Slate CRM is the one who will be sending the emails and text messages if this was actually to be integrated into their system.
All right. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, the first 4 teams. Now we're going to just do a quick transition. So the first 4 teams, you guys should go that way and find a seat. And who I need to come down to these first 2 rows is teams 11, 5, 16, and 9. And hey, the teams that went, if you'd like a good work sticker, which I'd love to give you, come get a sticker from me. Sticker, come get a sticker. Super, or you'll have to fix it. If you went already, I'd love to. Oh, here, you can take it, put it wherever you want. Okay, hold on, I'm going to put mine. I just like to reward good work. Here, it's on you, or you can move it. Yay, you are. they're coming up right now. Plan Pal. Where are you guys? Plan Pal. Hey, where's Team 11? Yeah, you're Pink Panther, right? And you're Contract down here. Sorry, Team 1. Where's Team 1 real quick? If your client's Antelope Valley, correct? Okay, so you're Pink Panther, you should just get up there. We're gonna get started. Everybody, when you get a time card that says when you see stop, finish that sentence. So you are Team 11, right? Okay. Is everything else? Are you guys ready? Yeah, but you want to be on the white. Team 11's next. Do they have their stuff up? Team 11, do you have your stuff up? Panthers? No. Do you have anything here that you need?
It's not up yet.
Okay. Here. Come over and figure it out. Get your folder out. Judges, the next team is going to be Team 11.
So this is the screen that we're in. Okay. So if you just do this, it'll show up on the screen.
I'm just going to point to you. Yeah, or you can good. Yeah. So basically, you just saw it, right? So if you pass the mic.
I don't know about that. I'm not that good. Okay. Yeah, I did. I'm going to do it again too before they start. Are you guys ready? Okay. All right. Okay. Hold on a second. Judges, this is Team 11. All the judges hear that? Team 11. All right, take it away.
Are you tired of giving the same explanation every day, all day, to the same masses? We at Pink Panther are here to help you. Pink Panther, we leverage AWS infrastructure and AI to transform long, mundane subjects into interactive modules. Now, let me introduce you to this great team of devs.
Hi, my name is Carlos and I go to Santiago Canyon College.
Hi, my name is Amir. I'm from Saddleback College. I'm Augustine, Kenyatta College.
My name is Kang. I'm from the Anza College.
I'm Nathan Lee from Coastline College. Practice with Panther aims to alleviate the pains of our main clientele, from small to medium businesses that lack technical infrastructure, manpower, and resources. Our application streamlines and helps onboarding processes and mass trainings and allows visuals for all the administrators on the back end. Now, take it away, Augustine.
Thank you, Nathan. So, how did we accomplish this task assigned to us? Well, it's all thanks to our Panther AI training. So this isn't like any other training you've ever seen before, all right? This trainer right here allows the teacher to track their students, make sure they're making that progress, and actually learn the content. You know, you ever have like those situations where, the student is just like skipping through the lists, like to the tabs, no, man, I don't want to do this anymore. Nah, the solution here is that it's giving the teacher access to all the statistics of what the student's progress is happening. The student is able to create their own learning plan with this. They have access to flashcards, matching games, you name it, it does it. This happens with a system that goes like this. So first, it auto-generates the content when you implement the files. So let's say you have a lesson plan. You have your, let's say you have some videos, some textbook knowledge. You basically put that in our model, and that then generates all the content that you're going to need to learn. That gets pushed to the student, and the student just goes to the models, generates the models. They go through the content. Then everything gets tracked. So if you're slacking off, there's an alert that's going straight to the teacher, and you better get back on it, or else you're, you know. But Khan here is going to take it away and show you the demo.
So right now, I'm gonna show you the demo of our application. So, okay. So after we go into the login, there is like the modules which have like the Canvas modules. There's gonna be and they're gonna be like flashcard for you guys to like help you guys to memory it better and understand it better.
That's the division. I guess like, I don't know, would you consider
And we also have
That's the division. I guess like, I don't know, would you consider
So they're going to be flashcard, review, and then the quiz. So after we talking with our clients, we figure out one problem. That is like, in this AI era, there are a lot more popular that we use AI to like doing our assignment and stuff, right? So the issue is like, we figured out there are a lot of people with have like really high score. But you know what? At the end of the day, they know nothing about the lectures, and so we figure out the issue is like they keep skipping the lectures real quick, and they keep skipping the assignment, and they just click, or they just like go to AI, they put a prompt and they get an answer, they just click the answer really quick. So we do the tracking system, which we call anti-cheating magic system. So here, when you click a lot, like really fast, like for example, like the modules or the assignment should be like 30 minutes or 15 minutes, right? But you only have, you only do it in 5 seconds. So which is weird, right? You know what I mean? So that time we will have like, it's gonna be flat on your screen, on the learner screen. And then if you still keep cheating, it's gonna be locked. And it will go into the dashboard of the administration, and then you have to get a talk with them. So here I want to show you. So let's say you're just doing in 5 seconds. So yeah, are you really a speed reading, or you just like speed clearing? So the thing is, like, our client want to focus on like really help the learner to learn, like truly learn. So we built like the Panther AI learning tools. It helps you guys to guidance and also giving some hints. You guys don't have to like suffering like all alone. So in here we have like AI chatbots, which can help you guys to break it down the problem or like explain the definition or like having the hint. Yeah. So next is our admin system. So we're gonna have like uploading the file, and then AI will generate it so that we can save time and effort to make the content, the overview, the keep track, and also the tips. And then the last thing is like the admin keep track progress. So here, the people who got like flagged, that I told them, tell you guys like when we have like the 5-second thing. So here we can see the report from the people who get flagged and then got a conversation later.
Okay, all those things runs on AWS. It's a serverless. So we use the DynamoDB is where we store learner progress data, and Lambda handles core logic, and Bedrock knowledge base is where it actually grounds the AI real content. So instead of AI giving you the guessing the answer, it's pulling out from the real documentation from the company. So one of the more interesting problems that we ran into, the knowledge base that we end up using does not support Bedrock building answer generation feature. So we had to build our own two-step pipeline. So it retrieves first the relevant content and answer based on that. Thank you.
What are your questions?
Questions, anybody?
Could you just clarify what data you're training it on?
So for our specific use case in this scenario was to help onboard navigating the Canvas portal, and this is to help other content of that source. So any sort of mass training, and I'm sure for any working professionals, you've been engaged in some sort of disseminated training, which needed to be conducted by the whole company, which could be workplace harassment, cybersecurity, or new workplace policies. And this helps to disseminate that information to your workforce and be able to monitor their training.
So essentially, like, let's say you have like a bunch of PDFs about something that you want to learn. You put them into that little prompt, and that is going to take it to our S3 bucket, and that's going to get the RAG going, and it's going to churn out all your modules. And whether you prefer to learn by flashcard or by little games, it's up to you.
And just to confirm, the chatbot works itself, yeah?
Yes, the chatbot is, you can ask it questions of the current module you are working in. It won't go beyond the module you're not working in, and you can choose what interactive game you want to engage with, from flashcards, quizzes, summaries, guides, or to actually do step-by-step interactions.
Got it. Thank you. Andrew?
If you had more time, what would you spend time building on to kind of finish this out for production?
So that was actually the last slide that we were supposed to do. And for that, I was thinking of like a mobile app. And that's because, you don't have like a laptop accessible to you all the time. And so you want to practice your skills. So, your phone is something everyone carries nowadays. And so I feel that having an app will not only, help you speed up that training process, but will be pretty efficient in helping, those learn.
Great. All right. Thank you.
Okay, next we have POLYSEES, Team 5. Judges, this is Team 5.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay, POLYSEES, Team 5.
No, I'm going to press play. And obviously,
I thought you were telling me we need to wrap up, and I was like, no.
Maybe pull it a little forward, so that Let's like do this.
Come up when you're ready to talk. I mean, just be up on the white so that we can get, people can see. Oh,
A new team for the judges, please.
Oh, sorry, I just said it. Team 5. Judges, Team 5. POLYSEES. You ready?
Picture this. You're searching through hundreds of board policies and administrative procedures with no easy way to find the one that you're looking for. Why would you do that to yourself when you can just find it in just a few seconds? This is why we built POLYSEES, an AI-powered policy assistant. You can ask questions about official board policies and administrative procedures and get an answer in seconds. Hi, I'm Hussein from Saddleback College.
I'm Hamid, I'm from Skyline College.
I'm Grace, I'm from Foothill College.
I'm Trevor, I'm from El Camino College.
Alina from the Anza.
The problem is that policies are scattered across hundreds of files. People have to search every policy manually, and this takes enormous amounts of time.
Okay, so first we have two amazing tools for one website. We have an AI chat assistant, which allows people to ask questions about the district's policies, and you can get answers, high quality answers with the policy sources referenced. Our second tool is a policy tracker dashboard, which allows people to manage the policy tasks based on legal updates that are uploaded into the program. And this is built for the whole district. So students and the public are able to use the chatbot to look up like grading, admissions, financial aid policies, and without digging through all the different files manually. And the faculty and staff can use the dashboard as a way to manage those policies and know which policies and tasks need to be updated first.
Alright, so we're going to show you guys how this works in a real quick demo video. So as you can see here, this is our beautiful landing page. This is going to be home to where our chatbot is. And so for example, let's say you're a student or you're just the general public and you want to ask a question about policies related to grading. You type in our chatbot and it'll list out every single policy in relation to grading. You could look through it and it just presents it in like a digestible way. And then we have to go through our secure authorization, and the purpose for this is the dashboard is only meant to be for faculty because we have a lot of like confidential documents that the public is not allowed to see. So this will help the faculty sort through all the documents. So for example here, we have a bunch of documents from a third-party legal team, and so we added an upload button, so as updates come in progressively throughout every couple months, you could just put it in and here's the policies that need to be updated. It's sorted by urgency, so at the top we'll have by, like, for example, legally required. They probably want to get that as fast as possible. And then, as you can see here, we have the current policy, how it shows on the website, and then we have the legal update itself. So the legal update tells us what needs to be changed, and then the staff member could go through on the policy itself and begin working on the dashboard to start editing it. And so you could also download the PDF of the policy so it could be sent to other staff members in case they need to work to it or in case other people need to see it. And then finally, we also have a sort of like timeline. So each policy needs to go through several different stages before it gets like accepted and put into the actual like official policies. not every policy has the same amount of stages, so we added a feature where you could add different stages, label them, mark it off as done. It'll say the date that it got marked off and who marked it off. And once it's done, it moves from in progress to complete. All right, a quick feature summary. We got secure authorization to protect those confidential documents, of course. We got policies by chapter, so it's easily sorted. And then we got live status metrics based on each policy. We have an upload to update feature. We have approval timelines, and we have an edit and export.
So it's a little bit about the technical part in very simple language. So first, we use a web crawler. That's a Python script that just downloads all the public policies available from the website, so we don't need to do it by hand. And then it just stores it as C3 bucket, which is Amazon storage. It's like the filing cabinet. And now we create the knowledge base, which can sort and index all those data. And then we connect our front-end Python script through API call to the knowledge base. So when we ask Chatbot, we don't need to search through the entire documents we have. It just it pulls the relevant chunks of data and generates a result. For the dashboard, it's an entirely different process, so we didn't use an AI model for that, so it's just simple pattern matching. We use JavaScript to sort of match the document, so we just use a simple math to figure out what chapter it came from, and then it just tags, so it scans for the legally advised, revised, and then just tags like what needs to be updated, and saves locally to the browser storage.
So beyond the current scope that we have our project, we have some next steps in mind, and notably we want to implement more UI features such as analytics and review history, which can be done with AWS CloudTrail. We also want to add a feature where when users have finished reviewing a policy, they can receive notifications. And we also want to improve our web scraper, which is primarily how we extract data from websites for policy tracking. And we also want to implement more security features such as two-factor authentication. Thank you, guys. Do we have any questions?
What libraries?
Yeah, just to do the actual web script.
So first we just use like a beautiful soup, just like regular. So we try to implement more sophisticated libraries, but we just did very basic, like beautiful soup. Any other questions?
I saw that you guys have authorization on there. How are you using that authorization to know who's allowed to edit which policy document?
So that's for the back end. Oh, you want to?
Yeah. So pretty much the faculty, there's only like a select few members. So as of right now, we don't have a method where we could easily add. So we would just have to let know beforehand who is actually allowed to use the dashboard, and then like in future scenarios, we would try and implement like AMS or AWS Cognito.
We plan on also using IAM from AWS for assigning roles in that.
Yeah, so you all mentioned, and you have a different engine on purpose up there. Can you go a little bit deeper on why you made that decision?
Oh, sorry, what was the question?
Do you have an idea of like the processes?
You can answer.
For,
but you keep going.
for which specific process?
So I believe you made a very conscious choice to not use an AI model for a specific portion of the scope.
Yeah, for
Totally
the
okay. I'm just wondering. I'm just trying to tease out the logic behind it.
because for the dashboard, we didn't really need AI because it's very simple. So we just upload the documents and then we just do like regex pattern matching, and it just like tags like specific policy that needs to be updated. So there's like no need for AI in that case. But for AI bot, we need that obviously.
Right tool for the right job.
Right.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
All right, team 16. Thank you very much. All right, judges, we have team 16 coming up. AssistINT. Okay. Judges, that's team 16.
Yeah, very interesting.
Okay, AssistINT. Ryan.
You have Discord on your machine.
Not that machine.
They have a Canva link with their PowerPoint.
Did you not upload the link in the bucket? You can put a file in it, no? Only, where does the link exist? Can you type it in here?
Will that work?
Everyone's reading into everything.
There's no time. Nobody knows.
And that yours was for
Remember that. And you can verbally explain whatever. Got it? Okay. You started. You were the starter. Okay. Ready? All right. No, I can see you.
Good morning, guys. This is Team 16. My name is Richard. I'm from Skyline College, and I'm a math major.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alex, and I'm from Santa Monica College.
Hi, I'm Isha. I'm from College of the Canyons, and I'm a cognitive science major.
Hi, my name is Ruby. I'm from Santa Monica College, and I'm a material science engineer.
Hi, my name is Leslie Segovia. I'm from Coastline College. I am a business administration major.
So millions of people apply for jobs every year, but nearly none of them get realistic practice before their initial interview. So our mission is to make professional interview prep accessible to anyone, anytime, anywhere.
Preparing for interviews is difficult because there aren't any realistic interview practice, and it's hard to find any good ones. So professional interview coaches can be expensive, and practicing with friends or family can feel scripted and unserious. And existing platforms mostly provide written questions and tips that don't exactly prepare you for the pressure in person. And these platforms also don't focus on specific fields and usually don't have various languages, mostly just English. I think we have all used AI that also sugarcoats the feedback it gives us. and oftentimes aren't realistic enough to help.
Now this is where our our assistant comes in. It allows users to have natural conversations with Maya, our AI interview assistant. She listens, she understands previous questions, she asks intelligent follow-up questions, and also adapts just like a real interviewer would. In addition, users can also customize the role, difficulty, and interview personality to keep the experience more relevant and personalized.
How it works. So the step one is the setup. So you can pick your field, role, difficulty, and interviewer intensity. Also, you can add your resume and the job descriptions. Following the step two is the interview. You have a live voice conversations, you have adaptive follow-up, and a real-time transcript on the screen. Finally, the step two is the feedback. As a scored report, strengths, area to improve, and a peer question breakdown.
So now I'm going to show you a demo of how I would use it. So first you put in your major. I'm not an education major, but you put in your major, you can put in a job description and upload your resume, and then you can choose between English and Spanish. Yeah, so this is me filling in the major and the everything. So then you can choose an experience level and a difficulty level for your interview, just in case you're like an entry level or you want an easy interview.
Hello, I'm Maya. I'll be conducting today's interview for the education role. We'll keep things moving at a steady pace, and I may ask a follow-up question or two to dig a little deeper. Let's get started. Question 1 of 6. Choose one project, achievement, or responsibility from your resume that best demonstrates your readiness for the education role. What was your contribution and result?
I've always enjoyed helping others learn. While volunteering and tutoring, I realized how rewarding it is to see a student understand something that they initially struggled with. That experience inspired me to pursue education because I want to make a positive impact on students both academically and personally. I believe teachers help build confidence, curiosity, and lifelong learning, so definitely a passion of mine.
Got it. Makes sense. Follow up. What age group or subject area do you want to teach? Appreciate that. Question 6 of 6. How would you engage a student who seems bored and unmotivated in your class?
I would initially try to understand why the student is unmotivated by speaking with them privately. Then I would connect lessons to their interest and provide choices and assignments when appropriate. I would try to also use interactive activities and recognize their progress. Making learning relevant and encouraging can really help students become more engaged.
And then you get an AI feedback personalized to you. So the first part of it would be, you get a score out of 100. And then you get like general bullet points on your general strengths and weaknesses that you can look over. And then, so this would be that. And then if you go to the next page, when you scroll down, again, you get to see you get to review your answer. And then you get specific, from an ideal interviewer, what feedback they would give you. This is a little summary of that. And then there's drop downs where you can get even more detailed information on tips and what to work on.
So going on to next is the tech that we use. So at the heart of our assistant is a Amazon Nova Soniq, which is a real-time speech-to-speech AI model. So unlike traditional voice assistant that converts speech into text before giving a response, the Nova Soniq understands and responds to speech natively. So this creates a natural conversation with very low latency and no awkward pauses. So our agent Maya, it feels like a real interview where she pauses and she asks listens and responds almost instantly. So apart from that, our backend just mainly includes the JavaScript for both front and backend coding, and we have a real-time WebSocket streaming. So our assistant delivers a fast, realistic, and scalable interview experience. So going on to what we'd like to do next is like we would like to add more advanced technical questions such as coding problems for STEM majors and more advanced customization based on individual company values. So like if we do that, I feel we could have a more customized and personalized interview for each student. And like if you guys remember Group 1, they have a chatbot with a more realistic interface. That's something that we'd like to add later on as well if we could make our interview more realistic even. So this is like one of our few of our future plans. And thank you if you guys have any questions.
Great job. Any questions? I have a question for you. So, it's a very interesting tool. What was the quality of the feedback generally when you ran your simulation? Like when you read through the text and the feedback that it gave, was it helpful?
So like overall, all it kind of looks for is like every question it will look for the direct answer, not the correct one, but also like the explanation that we could give and the example that we could give. So it kind of looks for like the well-rounded, like more like detailed answer. If we gave like a vague answer, it's gonna ask a follow-up question. It's gonna keep asking a follow-up question until we give them like a direct and like a well-rounded answer.
So, oh, sorry.
So how do you determine if an interview is good or bad? Like, how do you make up that score?
Oh, like so I have a question and answer bank, which is just generated like fully by AI, with a couple references and prompts that I injected. So, like I said earlier, if you gave a very vague and incomplete answer, if the AI thing is incomplete, it's gonna keep asking a follow-up question. But over time, it would just go to the next question, and in your feedback, it's gonna say which parts you need to strengthen. Like for example, here, like the AI would like to know more strategies of anti-bullying, for example. That's how it is.
And I recall yesterday, I think, or 2 days ago, you were having some struggles and challenges around steering the behavior of the interview and the assistant.
Yes.
Can you just speak to that in a little bit and how you got through that and resolved it?
So a couple days ago when I was working on the model, it was, so like for the model to start, the user had to talk to it first, which I didn't like, so I tried to prompt it in a way that it would just greet us as soon as the interview starts. So when I did that, it kind of like went sideways. Then I asked Nick for help, and he explained to me the right way, and I later on got the proper model that I really like.
Did you end up getting the behavior that you wanted?
Yes, I did.
Oh, great. Okay, cool. Right.
Any more questions?
Last question?
It's in the corner
yeah.
right there.
Is the AI able to take on roles or act in other types of fields other than education?
Yeah, there's a big list of majors you can like put in. You can put in whatever major you want, and then it'll give you questions. And it also like you can choose a type where it can just ask you about behaviors, like are you a good leader? What are your communication skills? And then you can ask for like technical things specific to your major, and then you can get interviews that are a mix of both, that ask you both kind of questions.
So as of now, I have like 24 fields of study. That's all I have right now. We'll love to add more.
All right. Thank you so much. Great job.
All right, we're gonna have team 9. Come on, team 9, which is team Sam's Club.
Sam's Clüb.
Oh, Sam's Clüb. Sam's Clüb. I did put the umlaut on the agenda, so. Judges, it's team 9. And then after this team is done, we're going to have a transition where these teams will move back and some teams will come up. And so just giving you a heads up while they're getting their slides ready. The next set of teams is going to be team 1, 6, 15, and 14. Right? So teams 1, 6, 15, and 14. Make sure that you're ready to come down. There isn't a break, it is a transition time, so we're just transitioning and moving on.
Okay, you guys want to come up there with me so that people can see you?
Oh, you're
okay. All right.
Yeah, there we go.
All right.
Team Clüb.
Hello everybody, we're Sam's Clüb, and we're here to solve a problem that Golden West College is having. Students seem to be unable to find answers in a website that's convoluted with a lot of stuff that's hard to navigate. How about we meet the cast? I'm Badgerine from El Camino. This is Victor from Coastline College, and we're going to be playing as sort of engineers who are working at Golden West. Not at Golden West, at DX Hub.
At Sam's Clüb.
At Sam's Clüb, I would say. Rob and Shai here will represent Golden West employees who are going to present their problem, and Joseph here is a student that we brought in order to help them understand. Now how about we have an interview about the problem?
So Shai, as a Golden West College employee, what are your office hours?
So our office hours first are from Monday to Friday. The days Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
So after 5 p.m., there's like no support for the students, correct?
Yes. We're in a limited time schedule. We take in a lot of students that come and ask questions, and most of the time they don't have the answers they get from the students there.
That's because the website, right? What do you think about your website?
Well, our website contains thousands of pages, so even if there is a search bar on top of the website, most of the time they wouldn't really find the right sources for the search terms they want to search on the search bar.
Yeah, so the website is very hard to search. You guys had a chatbot before. What happened with that?
It was very expensive to maintain. It cost thousands per month. And it didn't really. We had to manually make changes to it, and that went on for years. And what ended up happening was we had to shut it down, unfortunately.
So what kind of chatbot do you want?
Well, obviously we will want a chatbot that supports 24/7 service, supports multi-language support, and has a budget-friendly approach, not thousands per month, I would say.
Yep. Well, Sam's Clüb has a solution for you. We ingested all 3,000 URLs and 600 PDFs from your website into a knowledge base. When students come to our AI, when they send in a query, it triggers a Lambda function that calls Bedrock. Bedrock decomposes the query into parts. It retrieves 5 chunks, ranks those chunks, and does it 2 times. So it gives you the best answer and a very robust answer. We also time-coded our Lambda function where between 8 to 5, we will provide live chat links. After 5 o'clock, we will provide email addresses for the departments that you're looking for. In terms of your cost consideration, it is a pay per use. Now you've seen the back end, let's talk about the front end.
The front end itself was coded in React, with AWS Amplify being used to host the site. The field itself is clean and matches the colors of the college with a simple chatbot that will allow you to type in your conversation. Also included are stuff like likes and dislikes. There's also an ability to go to a live chat, which is that yellow button you see, which allows you to directly talk depending on the time available. It also will directly state sources. But instead of just me simply talking about it, how about we let our student here go through the website?
Hi guys, my name is Joseph. I just came from South Korea and I just want to continue my study here. And I love to start my journey at the Golden West College. Do you know what first thing that I need to do right now to start my journey? It's registration, obviously. So we're going to get through how can I get registration. It's very hard for me to get through all the website and read all English. So I hope I can get some help here. So it provides the link right attached to the registration page. It's really helpful for me. And let's see if this information is trustworthy. We can see the source that is generated from the website, so we can trust this information that is generated. And for me, I need a financial aid because community college is mostly not friendly to international students. So I definitely need some help from financial aid. So let's see how can it help me. So there also gives a lot of information there, but mostly what I love the most is there's a phone number and the email that I can contact with, that I can get real-time help. And if you move on to another country, that means you don't have families with you. So if I have an emergency, need some help. So it's really generate quickly to where can I contact and get some help. It's really helpful for me. And I also need a parking permit, but I accidentally asked the question with Koreans. But as you can see, it's even more better. The answer is generated in Korean. It's more comfortable to me for understand. But let's just get back to where everything started. I just don't remember what the question that I asked, so I just asked it, and it still remembers it. And then for the last part, I just want more information about what can I do as an international student, and we can just lead it to a live chatbot that I can ask questions directly. So overall, for students, this is much more convenient and comfortable experience. But I'm curious about what the employee is going to think. So shall we listen to them?
Right, so the impact to us Golden West College staff that are dealing with these calls by these students, live chat. Before we had a live chat service of just 9 hours during our school hours, but then with this live chatbot, we have 24-hour support. Minutes on hold for students having to wait in line during our chat live operations. Now they have 3 to 10 second response time, so they won't have to wait as long. And there's also hard-coded instant safety responses in case of an emergency like Joseph had. For us staff, we'll have to deal with fewer repetitive questions, so that alleviates us and helps us focus on more complex cases that other students may have. After hours, students get answers instead of getting nothing. And then it also has multi-language support for students in Korean, Vietnamese, and the rest of our student body. So what's next for Clüb?
Clüb has a lot of ideas on what they could bring next, such as scheduled nightly syncs that will allow the chatbot to stay up to date with whatever is newly added to the website. In the coming days, we could add smarter crawling or conflict detection that will allow for better responses overall. And with weeks even, we could add analytics, and we could even add frequently answered questions that will allow for faster answers to be given on certain topics. In fact, why not you guys try it out? Since it was hosted on Amplify, that means that the link is available to go to the chatbot if you were to want to try it out. So instead of just hearing from us, you could see yourself.
Everybody got the link?
All right, any questions?
You mentioned that you have likes and dislikes on the chatbot or the agent. What are those being used for?
It is not being used currently.
What would you use?
It is for feedback on the answers, if the answers are robust or not robust enough for the students.
And then how do you envision, like, if that was to be implemented, how would that be used?
It would go back to the staff to update their web pages so that the content is more useful for the students. Because we're pulling content directly from the website. Yeah. We've also noticed that different URLs have different content that might be conflicting. So if there's conflicting information where it's thumbs down, it can flag where the URL has the error so that staff can correct those web pages.
So you mentioned in your retrieval strategy, you were doing some ranking. And
correct.
Can you go into a little bit more detail about your ranking technique?
So I don't really know how the ranking really works. According to Darren, the AI generates its own write-up and it compares what it pulled to its own write-up to see how it compares and then ranks the responses accordingly. What I see so we tried out different models. We tried out straight up RAG models, and then we had Shai create a script that compares the staff answers to the straight RAG model to the agentic ranking model, and we valued quality over time. So we picked the agentic ranking method. So that's how we came up with that. In the background, there is a AWS function that does the ranking. It's just calling a function.
Got it.
So I was trying to figure out how that worked, but yeah.
Thanks. And then last question for me.
Yeah.
The safety response comes back instantly? Is that?
So that's hard-coded. There's some, in our Lambda function, there's some hard-coded stuff. If it's like sexual assault things, food necessities, police, emergencies, it's hard-coded information that pops up immediately instead of waiting the 10 seconds.
So specific terms?
Specific terms, yeah.
Got it.
Specific terms.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, transition time, teams 1, 6, 15, and 14. Team 1, why don't you just come straight here and start getting set up and pull your files up. And Elena is going to help the other teams situate themselves. All right, good job, everybody. Look at all the energy. Just a few more before lunch. All right, team one, come down, please. Get set up. Team 1. Okay, team 1. Hello. Darren, do you know what to do? See him? Darren, we may need help getting team 1 files.
You're winning your bet?
Well, I definitely want to. I don't know.
All right. Good luck.
Sorry, that was me. Sorry.
You get a prize.
I get a prize.
We have some feedback for you.
Yeah, ooh. That was a good dad joke, but bump.
Why didn't the tech people play Hartnell?
Okay, judges, the team that's coming up is team 1. So if you use your tab for the first one, you want to make sure you've switched it.
I was asking you questions. I asked you who's the chair of the English department and you.
Did it? Ooh, good test. Wait, hold on. All right, you guys want to stand up here then so that people can see you. Okay. Right, let's go. Ready?
Good morning. My name is Natalie Alicea. I'm from Santiago Canyon College.
My name is Ahmed. I'm from Clüb Community College.
My name is Hui. I'm from Orange College.
My name is Ted. I came from Santa Monica College.
And my name is Autumn Zolu, and I come from Moorpark and Mendocino Community Colleges.
So our project is the Transfer and Major Pathway Advising Assistant, which we named PlanPal. Our client was Antelope Valley College, and we were tasked with creating an AI integrated assistant specifically for engineering, mechanical engineering, and electrical engineering students based on what classes they should take next. But with additional resources, this project could be expanded to any and all majors. To expand on our current problems, a student has to book an appointment, wait days or even weeks to meet with a STEM-specific counselor. Then that counselor goes to a transfer university's website and cross-references with AssistINT in our articulation website to manually build each and every student's plan, which can be time-consuming and a misuse of resources. During this time, students can also lose out on time and graduate years later due to classes possibly only running once or twice a year. Our solution starts with the data.
To make sure our bot gives accurate answers, we feed it 4 sets of data. The ABC catalog contains the program maps, course descriptions, and prerequisite rules. The schedule history uses 4 years of past class schedules from the college, so the bot knows what time of year these classes run. Assist.org supplies the official transfer course equivalencies. University requirements pull exact degree rules from target schools like UCLA and Cal Poly Pomona.
Our pathway agent is designed to provide personalized academic guidance by asking clarifying questions and remember each student major and preferences. And instead of relying on the AI memory, we use Amazon Bedrock knowledge base to search, verify data catalog courses and transfer requirements stored in the S3 bucket. And while we connect to the AVC banner for live class availability. And also we implemented a checker through Lambda, and so this can make sure verify every courses before giving students a plan. And this architecture allows the AI to create personal plan while ensuring the final advice is accurate and reliable.
Success for this project means 4 things. We cut repetitive questions so counselors can focus on complex cases. Students get answers in seconds instead of waiting days. Tracking class timing prevents semester delays. This creates faster transfers and on-time graduates.
And our solutions is already handled for guardrails. Like the first thing is do not store any student privacy data, and also is keep a human counselor in a loop for final verification. And it's type the truth behind every answer for the transparency. And more importantly, we implemented the Hartnell system for support and monitor the AI to reduce hallucination and keep its guidance very accurately.
So these are the next steps or our roadmap for the 3 different phases of our project. So currently they're in the camp pilot. So as you said, it's only geared right now towards mechanical and engineering, electrical engineering students at Antelope Valley, and it's just focused on like a single like transfer target. But the second phase, which is the web launch, and that's our next phase, they'll get the like chatbot like embedded on the avc.edu website, as well as include a counselor feedback loop. And then finally our third phase, which is the California Community College Network, will have this project be open source via DX Hub, as well as any California Community College being able to plug in their data.
So we're gonna open the recorded live demo here. So at community colleges, students could lose entire year, not because they fail a class, but because they could plan it wrong. So our customer told us everything is a variable everything is a variable. Students can have different math placement, and students can have different academic background. So we built the tool that could handle all those variables. So let's say I'm majoring in mechanical engineering with no OEB credits and who wants to transfer to UCLA. So this asks what a counselor asks: what courses have you taken? When do you want to transfer? How much workload you're comfortable to take in a term? And then not only that, it asks the students if they are comfortable to take classes over the summer and winter. So before it creates an education plan, it lists out all the major requirements and including the prerequisite for each of the majors, and those are basically the thinking process. So counselor can verify every sentence, and these are the education plan, and also it lists out the classes that doesn't have articulation agreement with the specific college, and also there are also cited sources, so counselor can verify the information here. So I'm gonna upload an official transcript to see to see what is the next math class that a student should register. So it reads the transcript, it checks the requirements based on the articulation agreement, and you can see what are the classes that you have done and what are the classes you have not completed. And when you look at the last paragraph here, our tool catches that although on the articulation agreement, English courses English C1000, but on the transcript it is English 101. Those are actually the same course, but California just renumbered it statewide last fall. So I'm going to do the prompt injection to ask the data of the students here. It refuses the request, and it refuses the request and calls it the prompt injection. Thank you for your attention. Please, questions are welcome.
All right, great job, everybody. All right, questions. Darren's got questions.
Yeah, what motivated you guys to use Agent Core?
We use Agent Core Harness because this is not the AI chatbot to just answer the generic answer for the common question, but we have to make a chatbot to making an education plan for the student, and it's gonna based on student major preferences, and student can take how many units in a term. So we need Agent Core Harness to manage all the information and memory, and then have a validation plan to make sure the educational plan is correct. And the validation plan tool is gonna check duplicate courses, and some courses is not available to offer anymore, something like that.
Did you get a sense of the cost in tokens to run kind of one analysis?
We only set up the costs for manage. It's not over $1,000 every month.
Every month, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Laurel.
And what would you do if you had more time for this project? I was curious to know.
We will have to scale for more colleges and more majors, and make it available to and any kind of students with different backgrounds, like art majors, humanity majors, we will scale it up. Thank you.
One last question here.
Quick question. Sometimes those requirements get updated over
Yes.
time, or the transfer agreements change. Did you have a plan for how to keep that information current?
Yeah, we already have plan for us. We already implemented MCB tool. So wherever the website got updated, the MCB tool, like after 2 or 3 years, gonna update the information. Like through a tool calling.
Any more questions?
Yeah, we're done. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. And next up, we have Team 6 with student. Team 1, you can just sit here if you want. Team 6, student-centered scheduler. Right. Judges, Team 6. All right, audience, thank you guys for asking questions. I appreciate that. Then the judges don't have to ask all of them. So judges, we appreciate your questions, but students, we also appreciate your questions. Keep asking.
It wasn't judge date. I wanted to encourage.
You're expected to ask questions. Hey, anybody, since we're waiting, anybody try the power poses that we talked about yesterday? Oh, good, I got some. Only some brave souls.
Why don't you show us one, Aneo?
You need me to show you one? Sure.
There we go.
Yay me. And I didn't ask, did you try it in public? You could have done it privately. All right, yeah.
On the white. But if you're in the white, be careful.
Yeah. Hello, we're Team 6. My name is Ksenia. I'm from San Diego Mesa College.
Hello, Ashmeet from Bakersfield College.
I'm Rohan from Anza College.
And my name is John Gazzer from Kenyatta College. Now let me get a raise of hands of who has had issues scheduling classes out there. Wow, everybody's hands. And I feel for you because as a student, I've had that same issue on scheduling. But guess what? This is not only an issue for students at every college, but it's an issue for also administrators at the colleges. And we've had an opportunity, if you go to the next slide please, to kind of look into this. And we've had conversations with Bob over Zoom and kind of getting a little bit more analysis on what the issue might be, right? What are the required courses you need to take as a student? How can you be able to stay on track as a student? And of course, there's this manual disconnect in terms of that. So we got together and we tried to figure out what could a solution be. And Rohan, maybe you can be able to go into that.
So we've all been in that situation where you're about to click the register button for a class and then that red pop-up with the conflict time shows up. So we created a tool where students can select the courses they're going to take, and then it'll display all those sections that are conflicting, as well as alternative sections that won't conflict and students can take. Now, on the administrator side, it's incredibly difficult to create a cohesive schedule that works for everybody. So through data analysis, we created a visualization that shows where classes are overmapping and specifically where the problems are. And the goal with this is to help administrators create a schedule that's better for everyone. Yeah, and now Ashmeet will display that.
So yesterday I was asked a question if I was a scheduler, what I do, I want to see in my system so that the more complaints about why my course is getting conflicted with other course could be solved. I really need to see it so that I would really have a better schedule. So that is why we went ahead and made an analytical dashboard for the first part of our project. Well, for the first part of the project, which is the analytical dashboard, that would give a general overview of what potential conflict risk would look like. So this over here is the first overview page that gives you conflicts with departments, conflict by terms, and according to academic areas, when you go in it, we have whole courses which can give you conflict potentials with course-to-course comparison. Now for the best part, which is this schedule overview. Here you can see that you have certain options. Whether you want to choose a quarter, whether you want to choose any department, a course, any section, and then compare it to another course. For this demo, I'm going to assume that I'm one of the math department people, and I want to choose that. Let me see what my Math 11 course is doing in comparison to the Account 1A course. It tells you in the blue box that I have a conflict of about 22%. This table right here will give you a kind of a table overview of where the conflict is. For each math section, on the vertical one, which gives you all the sections, and the horizontal tab is the comparison of account sections, the cross one being the conflicts. When going down, it would also tell you the summary of all the instructors with the math section. And now, for the part of visualization. This is the visualization like a week overview. The dark ones, the math sections with the dark brown layout, is your anchor courses, my course for my department. And the blue and the orange ones being the one courses I'm comparing it to. So, the orange ones would give you the conflicts which are there, and blue being the safe zones. This is exactly what analytical dashboard will look like.
Now, in addition to analytical dashboard, we've also built a student-facing tool, like Rohan mentioned. It will allow them to see potential class conflicts in their schedule based on the overall college schedule in specific quarter. So here, you can pick your academic program, your major. Just for the sake of demo, let's do engineering for transfer. We pick a term, winter 2027, and it shows the recommended list of courses to take in this specific term. And now you click a button and it shows the pairs of class sections that do have time overlap. So a student cannot take those courses in this specific term together. And it also shows the pairs of classes that do match really nicely, and a student can take them in this quarter and stay on track to earn their degree. We've also included a pathway that was provided to us with all the courses that are recommended to take. And last but not least, we've implemented an AI-powered LLM chatbot, which intelligently retrieves the information from Dynamo database that we've created with all the pathways and with real class schedule from 2025-2026 and for the current year, for the future academic year. And so it asks questions about which courses a student needs to take and basically just provides guidance. Okay. All right, so of course this is a prototype, but even in its current state, we feel that the tools that we've built provide actual real value for students. And so, but we do plan to improve our tools. So what we want to do is we want to expand the capabilities of our AI chatbot so it's even more smart, it's more powerful, it's more accurate. In addition to that, we want to include all the pathways, all the academic programs to ensure that we help all the student population and just provide this guidance. And Yeah, I think that's it.
Let me go ahead and wrap up real quick. So this is actually version 1 of the PowerPoint slide we have up. We were supposed to have version 2 up, but what we're trying to say is this, that why now? Right now, more than ever, as a student, you experience this, administrators are experiencing this. It's a very challenging time. But right now, we have the technology to implement using AWS to provide the solutions so you have a better experience as a student, and not only as a student, but also an administrator, so you can provide that solution to the faculty and students abroad. So what we want to be able to say is thank you for your time, and we're very happy that we have these technologies right now to utilize and leverage. Thank you so much.
Great job, team. All right, questions?
Yes, sir. All the way in up.
What was the what did you like most about your project that you worked on?
So the question is, what do we like the most of the project we worked on? I'm happy to kind of share it with you guys in general, but for me it was the ability to work with these fine folks here. Everybody had a very unique sense that they're bringing to the table here as a team. And for me, I can be technical, but it's great to have some technical folks that kind of can deep dive into it, but that's my life.
For me, it was definitely the student dashboard. It just feels and looks so clean and easy to use. It's all in one place. If you have a question, you can ask a chatbot. I feel like when we're registering, sometimes you have to go to so many different tabs, but just having an area where it's all clear, it's like just very nice.
For me, that was the visualization which I had for the week format. I think because that was exactly what I envisioned when I want to compare one single course to all other sections, and I think that was a success what was there.
Yeah, I agree with all of you, and personally, I really enjoyed the team dynamics, the team collaboration that we had, and in terms of our the product that we've built, I think we're really focused on helping both faculty and students, and our the dashboard and the product, the tool itself, it addresses kind of both sides of the issue, so I enjoyed it a lot.
It's an extremely complex problem. There was two sides to it. Which did you find to be the more challenging in terms of like addressing something that you think could be put into production currently?
That's interesting. Do you have any ideas?
I think maybe the administrative side, because there was a lot more, I mean, Shmi can definitely speak to this, but I think it was a lot more difficult to analyze the data, and sort of, we had to also consider like there's sometimes online classes and like asynchronous, and it's kind of hard to visualize everything if there's so many different formats. Some students might just not want to ever take a 7 a.m. class, and you have to take that into consideration. So, yeah.
Yeah, just to add to that, when we had a call with an expert, he also mentioned that this is mostly a people issue, and sometimes professors don't want to teach classes at like 7 a.m. in the morning. So yeah, that was the biggest challenge.
I just want to add that this project is still really open-ended. It has many factors which could be added. There could be an option for teachers, whether they are going to teach the next semester or not. So really, it is one of the projects where you can literally add and keep on adding any more features you would want to like.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much. We've got Team 15 coming down. This is Ask Eddie Chatbot. Judges, it's Team 15.
Lambda.
All right, here we go. Ask Eddie Chatbot.
Hello, my name is Tamir. I'm from Allen Hancock College and I'm studying computer science.
Hi, my name is Julie. I'm from Santiago Canyon College. I'm studying graphic design.
Hello, everybody. My name is Angel Rodriguez and I attend Chabot College and I'm studying biology.
Hello, everyone. I'm Svetlana and I want to do data science.
And I'm Dan Oliver from Coastline College, studying cybersecurity. So for Lemoore College, 50% of calls to the Student Services Health call center are not answered the first week of school.
When students can get quick answers, they miss deadlines, they feel overwhelmed, and they're most likely to drop out classes. That's why having fast, reliable information matters.
Okay, so a quick overview with what me and my team did to address this problem. We created a chatbot which was named Eddie, which is after the mascot, and potentially we used the AWS knowledge space that we attach a S3 bucket, which is kind of like you can imagine it like a wardrobe, and we keep files in there. These files are public files that the administrators want students to have access to, and to make the responses from the chatbot more accurate. With that, we also use the a web crawler, which just goes and browses the websites that that the college has access to, and to help prompt a better response for the person asking the question.
So as you can see, we have a short demo on the right side. It's an old chatbot, which is not AI driven and already exists. And on the left side, it's our new version, which is AI driven. And for our chatbot, we created the design system in code using AI assistant development, and we generate components, design tokens, and documentation, making our design system ready for development and for the future scalability. Then we integrated our components inside the chatbot. So as you see now, our chatbot uses our buttons, input fields, message bubbles, and window, which provides consistency and more user-friendly design. And finally, we worked on improving chatbot responses. So instead of just using raw data from the website, we integrate more natural, conversational, and format with better structure of our response, clear typography, and more readable responses. And I'll take it over to Tamir.
Yeah, so on top of the chatbot, we also created a short demo where people can actually call an AI voice assistant that can also answer their questions, kind of like similar to the chatbot, but they can actually answer and talk to them.
How do I make the counseling appointment?
So the question was, how do I make a counseling appointment?
You can schedule a counseling appointment through the Counseling Services page on the Lemoore College website using the Schedule Appointment option. They are located at 555 College Avenue, Building 100, and you can also call them at 559-925-3130 during office. Hours, Monday through Friday from 8:15 a.m. to 4:45 p.m.
So for a chatbot that's interfacing with the students, the college wanted us to consider the trust and safety of the chatbot. The client definitely wanted, Lemoore College wanted accuracy. So from the beginning, we curated a test set of questions, created in Markdown, along with a rubric. that we could already have answers ready to go, and then grade the responses ahead of time. So we're ensuring accuracy from the beginning. We also considered the security in the design. So along with the traditional content test questions, we have some security test questions to judge prompt injection and other security related issues relative or that align with the OWASP LLM top 10 vulnerabilities. We also have the chatbot Ask Eddie designed to answer specifically questions that are found within the knowledge base. And if it's not in there, or if it can't answer those particular questions, then to elevate the response and recommend contacting student services. So then when we talk about the impact of what Ask Eddie has for the student population, we believe it will be a great boon to the students and a valuable addition to what the college offers. Ask Eddie would be available 24/7. It also provides more relevant answers to the current chatbot. While we showed you the chatbot that's on the screen, we also improved the backend on the website for the general search function. So instead of just having a list of all the sites, it actually will generate like an AI assisted answer and then provide links to the relevant sources. And then the other benefit of the staff is that it also, because we expect the chatbot to be able to answer a lot of questions, it would deflect calls to the call center and reduce the number of missed calls in any given semester. And then we also are targeted the chatbot to answer questions for prospective students that we hope will drive enrollment. And then for the future state, we showed the voice proof of concept, but we imagine rolling that into an actual phone call answer system so that if a call went to the call center, then Ask Eddie could stop in because it uses the same back end of the knowledge base and provide those answers to the students. While we do have a testing framework and questions, that was a manual process right now, so we'd love to automate that and then have that feedback go back into training the model and revising the model to provide better answers that are more relevant as well. Security, we mentioned, we had that from the beginning. It's just an initial framework, so there's some more work to be done there by actually not just doing some of the prompt injections, but testing against the full top 10 from OWASP. And then finally, accuracy, IT lift, and maintainability were concerns. We addressed the accuracy. IT lift uses the Amazon Web Services, so it's pretty much rolled, ready to go. And then maintainability, the previous chatbot hasn't been updated. The stakeholders had left, so it's stale data. The way we design this is with web scraping and S3 buckets. The college can drop additional data in the S3 bucket. Lambda function can be triggered and then update the knowledge base so Eddie stays relevant for semesters to come. So next time, ask Eddie. Thank you, everyone.
Great job, team. What do we have for questions? Yeah, over here.
Do you guys build off the existing chatbot, or you guys build a new one? A new one.
Yep, brand new one.
Brand new one?
Yep.
So like, again, this probably goes back to the knowledge base. So you guys have get the college's knowledge base, or you guys just kind of like?
Yeah, so the knowledge base has two sources that it ingests from, the website scraping, and then also there was a few documents, some email templates, some PDFs that are non-sensitive data that the college specifically thought was of use to students, but they don't necessarily publish on the website. So that S3 bucket is supposed to hold that data and then be ingested by the knowledge base to provide additional answers that may not be directly searchable on the website. One of the main challenges but it wasn't provided to us. This particular college has 8-week classes almost exclusively now, and they're staggered start times. So we imagine that the document that has all the particular drop dates could be uploaded to that particular S3 bucket, ingested, and then the chatbot could answer those questions. But that information is not publicly posted on the website.
Can you expand just a little bit more on your evaluation framework for quality of answers?
That was definitely driven by another model to scrape the website, have generate a rubric of what a good answer looks like and a bad answer looks like. Currently, there was human review of those test questions, and then it was a manual process right now. Typing those questions in, does it categorize as good or bad, and if we need to kind of massage the model to give a better response. The process we've built out is that it's a markdown file that has a structure to it, and then we have a Python script that will convert those markdown files. It basically looks for a whole bunch of them so other departments can have their own questions. That will then convert into a JSON formatted script that we can then eventually automate with another model. Where we imagine future state, the model takes the JSON file and can probe, ask Eddie, see the response, and then maybe hopefully kind of automate a loop of improvement.
Got it. And then last question, you mentioned OWASP and prompt injection, and you had kind of an initial framework. Were you able to take any steps to actually apply that framework, or is it conceptual in nature at this time?
Conceptual in nature at this time, but we have a documentation of how to address the OWASP top 10 and test for it, and then make changes as necessary.
I would love to see that at some point. So thank you. All right. Oh, one more question here.
What's OWASP?
What's OWASP?
That's me. OWASP is Open Web Application Security Protocol, or I'm forgetting on the last one, but it's a it's an industry standard for testing web apps for security vulnerabilities.
Great. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Next up, we have Team 14, Hartnell Phishing. Team 14, come on down. Got it, let's go. Okay, it's almost.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Rain. I am a student from Skyline College.
My name is Samer. I'm from El Camino College.
My name is Kafui Toner. I'm from Mount San Antonio College.
My name is Ed. I'm a Cal Poly alumni from 1994, and I'm currently attending Allen Hancock College in Santa Maria, studying cybersecurity. And this is Teddy from Santa Monica College, and she is studying pharmacological studies.
Cool. Okay, so we're Team 14, and today we are presenting our Hartnell phishing project. Okay, so according to a 2026 report by ABC News, California Community College, like our clients from Hartnell College, has lost approximately $3 million in state funding and $10 million in federal funding because of financial aid fraud in 2024. And on top of that, the U.S. Department of Education has lost over $350 million because of ghost student scams over the past 5 years. So because of these numbers show that phishing is more than just annoying spam emails, but it rather leads to stolen financial aid, compromised student accounts, and millions of dollars in losses. So that's why improving phishing detection has become a growing priority for colleges. So, introducing our clients, the Hartnell College. So the Hartnell College has been receiving phishing emails that has been targeting students with fake internship offers, financial aid notices, emails that appear to come from the college. And so, before our project, every suspicious email has been manually reviewed by the IT department. So that means that as the phishing attempts or the phishing emails attempts have increased, it's become more difficult to maintain or work with these emails. And I'll pass out.
So let's get into the work scenarios. So last semester, a Hartnell staff member got an email that looked exactly like an official email. So the subject line said urgent. Verify your password or your account, or it will be locked. And so it has the college logo and the right signature block, and the link looks legitimate. And so the client just clicked on it, and within 20 minutes, the attackers and the client's credentials have been hacked and then used to send phishing messages to students from the user's account. So 3 students almost lost their financial aid information before it was stopped. So that's why we got the client just, we got the express need for identifying phishing trends each month and to spot new phishing trends the moment they appear and give executives a clear one-page threat summary, and to push fast, clear security alerts to both students and the staff. And finally, to turn the entire thing into a short, readable thread to the month newsletter that people would open. So, and those are ways to solve problems.
So we were lucky. Hartnell College already had a system that was able to identify these emails as phishing or benign. So our approach to the solution had to basically add on to it and not break their already very good solution to it. So we decided to work with an S3 text file workflow, and we found that was more effective. So our solution is an interactive UI, so you don't actually have to be technologically inclined to know how to use it. You also have a direct connection to all the buckets, so even if you didn't want to use it, you can just upload your data to one of the buckets and it'll run it through a Lambda S3 event. And it'll easily print all your newsletters to a bucket, and you can now review it and send it out as an email. But that isn't all that we had to run into. First, we did run into one problem. We were unable to introduce a large language model that could identify all types of threats. So we decided to go with another approach. We made a scam classifier model that separates them into categories. And at the start, we had 90% other/unrecognized. Now, if I told you your biggest problem was other, how many of you would be pretty upset with me? I'm assuming a lot of you. So we worked on adding more categories and more phrases, and we worked with a whole Corsic automation to make sure that every single phrase was run, and it only took seconds. And we also added signature detection to make sure that anyone who, tried to go past keyword matching would be caught with images. And now we have a demo for you. Right. Here we go. So there's the UI. I think it's paused. Sorry. Thank you. So you upload your data. That was a set of 22,000 emails, so it might take a little bit of time, but it usually only takes about 30 to 60 seconds to run. Once it runs, you get 4 easily printed newsletters, one with an executive summary showing you what was the biggest threat this month. For July of 2026, it was health and pharmacy spam, so be careful around your health and medications, please. It'll upload it, and it will show you how many individual reports it got of each one. And as you keep going, it'll go through. I was a bit slow yesterday. I'm sorry. I did that at like 1 a.m. All right, and I'm going to pass it off to Ed for the additional features.
Yes, we considered a few additional features. The first one, of course, was already highlighted by Samir, which was the incorporation of a large language model. We're also going to incorporate Amazon Simple Email Service, and last but not least, the Amazon Route 53 for handling any URL building. The final point is next steps that will be taken. We're going to review all the AI-generated code. In that step, we will do the cybersecurity in the phishing emails, the threats will be categorized using the CVSS, or Common Vulnerability Scoring System, familiar with cybersecurity students. And the last thing, next, privacy considerations for sensitive data. And now on to the last point for next step, authored by Teddy, which was the citability. And that is a way to avoid hallucinations with accurate references, again, accurate references, and guardrail inclusions. Thank you.
Team, or nice job, team. Pardon me. Team 14. Right. Questions, team 14.
Yeah, I had a question. When it comes to the target that you guys are trying to help, who is really the people that is going to use this platform? Or how does it differentiate from a ticket platform that just sends every single file automatically?
Well, we wanted to make sure that we could review the files before they got sent out, because let's say there was anything like sensitive information that could be taken off immediately. But we did have security files in place to make sure no sensitive information would get leaked. But we also wanted to make sure we expressed the client's need to review any email before it got sent out.
I have a question about innovation, because cybersecurity is just evolving so quickly, and the criminals are evolving sometimes faster than the larger organizations are. Do you have any plans for staying ahead of the curve?
As for now, we would want to incorporate a large language model that could catch new phishing emails as they come out, because right now we can only catch ones that have set phrases and kind of a pattern. We've all gotten scam emails before, we know what they look like, but as they evolve and as we get more complicated, this will need a large language model to catch those.
All right, any other questions?
All right.
Great.
Good job, team. Thank you very much. All right. Good job, team. So far, we are inching closer and closer to our awards and closing ceremony. But right now, it is time for lunch. So lunch is going to be outside over there. We have until 12:20. So eat, mingle, and then come back in here by 12:20. And the teams that are going to go next, you're going to sit up here. The remaining teams. Okay, so the other teams, you guys are here. Okay. All right, we're inching closer and closer to awards and closing ceremony. Hasn't it been exciting? How was lunch? Lunch was good, right? Thank you, Nola. Thank you, Kira. We should make sure when we leave, we thank them for taking care of all our food needs this week. I think it was a nice little picnic setting. That was, thank you to Nola for that. I don't know where she is. She's probably still out there. Okay, she went to go eat, yes. Okay, so Robin and you are in charge. Tell people to go up that way if they come in. Thank you, Robin. I appreciate that. Okay, we're going to go. We have MailFlow and 4. And judges, this are all our judges here. Judges, this is team 4. All right, are all our judges here?
Okay.
All right, we're going to get started. We saved all the best for last. Last, no pressure, right? Okay, here you go. Team 4 judges. I don't know who's starting.
Okay.
All right. First of all, I just want to thank you all for being here today, everyone, including over call as well. I want to present our project. It's MailFlow, and it's going to reclaim 20 hours a week for Foothill-De Anza's community college accounting team. And I want to present everyone that worked on this project. They're amazing people. I'm Angel, by the way, from Palomar College.
And I'm Lillian. I'm taking classes at San Diego College of Continuing Education.
I'm Mani. I go to Clovis Community College.
I'm Sanchita. I'm from College of the Canyon.
Hi, I'm Mustafa and I go to Camino College. Imagine receiving 200 emails per day and then having to open and read and check every single email and then forward it to the correct person. You understand how long that process is? This is the reality of Foothill-De Anza's accounting team, and now we're going to show you how we solve that problem.
So from our discovery session, we had a 30-minute call with our client, and we discovered a couple things that we didn't expect. At first, we thought this would be a really simple and straightforward project because everybody is familiar with email forwarders. But then, through our discovery session, we found out 5 things we weren't quite expecting. Number 1, our client wanted it to be Outlook compatible, and we ran into some issues with Microsoft. At one point, while we were testing, it thought we were sending spam emails. And then the second thing is our client doesn't want sensitive data, just like social security numbers being processed by AI. So we need to figure out how to stop that from happening. And then the third thing is buried email inputs. Because anyone can attach anything to an email attachment, we had to figure out how our processor could process multiple input types like PDFs, Word docs, spreadsheets, etc. And also, the fourth thing is multi-recipient emails. So certain emails could go to multiple recipients. And the last but not least, the biggest thing was our client wanted to be able to edit the logic themselves, which gave us some complexity because we were already having a hard time amongst ourselves figuring out the email logic. As you can see in the diagram, that's our logic map.
So think of our solution as a smart digital mailroom. Our clients spend several hours every day sorting emails, reading invoices, and rerouting documents to the right desks. We automated that entire workflow, which runs in the background 24/7, and this is how we did it. Using EventBridge, our system automatically checks the client's main Outlook inbox of any new incoming emails every 15 minutes. When a new email arrives, the system instantly grabs it, organizes the text into a clean format, and securely stores the PDF attachments in an S3 storage bucket. Finally, our AI reads the message and the PDF contents, determines which desk it needs to be routed to, and automatically forwards the email to the exact team that needs it based on the rules defined by our users. Here's a log stream of an email getting routed to desk 3. So you can see the desk 3 and then as well as the corresponding email. And now we'll move on to the demo. So you'll see that 3 emails come in. Once they come in, they'll be marked as read, which means that they've been processed by the first Lambda function. And now they've gone to the second Lambda function, which is classifying them and sending them to the correct corresponding email addresses. So this one was routed to desk 3, and the next one to desk 5. And the final one was also routed to desk 5.
Our email agent reads through both the email text and attachments to spot key routing clues. It searches specifically for purchase order numbers, vendor names, or employee last names, and uses the accounting team rules to automatically send the file to the correct desk. With our email agent, it frees up 15 to 20 hours in total weekly so the accounting team can prioritize other work. It eliminates the daily chore of manually sorting 200 emails, and it reduces errors by sending emails directly to the correct desk.
For the lessons we learned along the way, we learned how to build cloud automation workflows. So leveraging a lot of the new technologies that we learned throughout this week. Microsoft Azure, we didn't learn about that one, but that one was necessary in order to get permissions that would allow us to read the Outlook, the initial Outlook email that received every email. And we used Event Bridge as well from Amazon. The Lambda functions as well, which are serverless in Amazon. And we also stored all the information into S3 buckets as well. And we had Amazon Bedrock as well, Nova Pro. For our cloud and debugging and troubleshooting, we initially struggled with the Lambda functions, the first one. We worked through that one pretty well with the logic. However, we took a bit more, it was a lot more troubling when it came to the second Lambda function, in which case we also had to work through that, and we used powerful APIs and solved permission issues as well. If we had more time, ideally we had a lot of ideas. We wanted to create a chatbot that could summarize multiple emails for the client. So it would mean that it would be like an AP staff assistant. So it would allow just like the AP staff to have to do have it all automated for them. It would allow the client as well to edit the code. And we only tested with attachments, one attachment per email. So we would also have to work on routing the emails that contain multiple attachments correctly, because when it comes to the emails, we also saw that a lot of them could have multiple attachments. And thank you so much. Any questions?
How does it handle phishing emails?
Yes.
So that was something the client did want us to address. However, with the time we had, we couldn't really automate that process very well because we were afraid that our phishing email detector would incorrectly detect emails and route or like discard them even though they were correct. So that would lead to loss of information or like potential losses in like finances and stuff.
If one email involves multiple vendors or accounts, is that email going to be moved into multiple desks? And how do you make sure it's answered by the main person, not by multiple desks?
So the way our client has things structured is that they're receiving one PDF from one vendor. So it could easily be routed to any desk. And as for routing multiple emails, if the AI isn't able to classify a certain email to a desk, it will route it to Danny, who is our client, and then he could manually look through it.
A question for you in terms of the Outlook integration piece. Just curious if you ran into any issues with like permissioning or like administrator authorization required just for security purposes.
Yes, we did initially. What we did was that when it asked us for those permissions, we used the Microsoft Azure and then connected that to the, in this case, they didn't officially give us an email that was like their official one, obviously, security reasons. But we would do, what we would do in that case was just use the same process.
And in that case, that's a great question. We were able to simulate it by starting a free trial with Microsoft, giving them our credit card. So we have a reminder to delete that ASAP. Good question.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Next we have Team 2, Soniq. Judges, this is Team 2. They might. You guys need help? Or yeah, probably.
Yeah, you do your slides and then I type an ad. Open the video too, so we don't have to
Open the video. Is it the second file? There's a second file. Okay. Wait. Judges, Team 2.
Imagine you volunteer to review a college course. You open it and you find 85 videos and you gotta click through all of them to see if there's any missing captions or maybe they're AI generated. And it's gonna take you about 2 to 5 hours, and that's what it takes our professors. So we are Team 2. My name is Dasha. I'm from El Camino College.
My name is Ricky. I'm from Cuesta College.
My name is Paul. I'm from Irvine Valley College.
My name is Ivan. I'm studying computer engineering at Anza College.
I'm Jacob. I'm from Santiago King College.
And we built something that will help us save money, save time, and help professors do that really quickly. You got the slide. CVC at 1, which is California Virtual Campus Network for Educators, supports teaching qualities across all 116 California community colleges. Before a course can ever see the light of day in Canvas, it has to be published to the CVC Exchange, where about 60,000 students can see it. But before that, it has to be checked with a process called POCR, which is Peer Online Course Review. And it's great, but the problem is that it takes around 5 to 10 hours to check one course for every single professor. And Soniq is an AI first pass that uses a drop-in IMCSS files, which are the Canvas courses, and it processes it, visiting about 25 standard forms from the rubric that is applied for all the California community colleges. It flags every mistake or inconvenience, and it makes comments with it, and a suggested fix, so it will be easier for the professors to read it after. And it saves us more time, and it still has a last call for assistance for our professors.
Alright, so as far as the problem goes, reviewers from the CVC team stated that it takes around 5 to 10 hours, and they said this in their own words. So what we did to fix this problem is, well, we made Soniq basically, right? And so the single review that runs 5 to 10 hours, if you take module objectives, for example, they're easy to check. So if you run a course for 90 pages or more, you have to scroll through each page just to find out if page 47 has that one detail that's missing. And that gets documented. That's called redundant human work, which AI is supposed to do. What that means is it's supposed to check so that way there's no system failures and it ensures safety. And if you take learner reflection, for example, a single question can live anywhere within a 100-point quiz. A line in a template or an upgraded survey, so the reviewer is forced to comb through the entire course hunting for it. Now, the biggest sink of all is accessibility compliance. Legally, reviewers must verify every caption in a video, heading, or on every page, which is alternative text. This is shown on every page and is required by state and federal government. But if it's purely decorative, it's called null. So, hence 85 videos. And while all that clicking happens, the judgment work that actually needs an expert, interaction quality, outcome mapping, it gets crowded out. So our agents cut review time from 5 to 10 hours down to 2 to 5, tracked against reviewer accuracy, automate the objective checks, and keep a certified human in the loop for every call. The sponsors were explicit that Soniq gathers evidence and attempts a rating, and the reviewer decides. And return the saved hours from the coaching facility that parts only experts can do.
So as to how our web app actually works, so starting off with the ingestion, when a reviewer or professor is exporting a Canvas course from Canvas, it's being exported as an .imscc file, which is incompatible with any platform that is not a learning management service such as Canvas. So in order for our LLM auditor to be able to successfully review the course contents, we need to implement a data parser, which parses the data into a readable JSON that our LLM can read. On top of that, our 2027 CVC rubric, which is split into 12 pages and about 25 sections, is also parsed and chunked so that our LLM auditor can have a more seamless and efficient process when actually reviewing the course content against the rubric. In terms of its analysis, so the LLM scores all the 22 rubric standards after they're parsed against all of the exported and chunked Canvas content, because as you know, the entire Canvas course comes with a lot of different tabs, such as discussion posts, grades, multimedia embeddings, modules, assignments, quizzes, all that. So all those are parsed in chunks against the corresponding sections in the rubric. After the analysis is complete and an LLM designates a score, whether it's passing or not, or whether it can be uploaded to the CVC exchange, the report delivers findings with evidence-based reasoning and also pinpoints exact locations within the Canvas course where there are flagged mistakes. For example, it will find on either a syllabus or an instruction page whether a heading is missing, there's improper punctuation, or anything like that. Yep.
Right. So now to the backend. It's definitely the hardest part of the whole project. So once the parser has parsed the IMSCC file into a JSON object, we pass it to the LLM. So we perform two types of checks. It has to check for accessibility features, which we do with deterministic checks, and we pass the prompts to the LLM. I could show you a quick demo.
This is the reviewer's dashboard. Every course shows up in the pipeline, and whatever needs attention is sorted to the top. I'll click ingest course and upload a IMSCC file. It'll soon be parsed into JSON and scored against the rubric using a deterministic script in LLM. Here's the finished course. You're able to sort between policies and support course structure, etc., and if it's incomplete, approaching, aligned, or exceptional. Every finding names the exact page, and out of all the modules, you're informed where the issue is and where to go, and the suggested fix sits in the box the reviewer can rewrite in their own words. On the top left, there's an alignment score out of 100, and next to it is a bar that says how much is aligned, approaching, and incomplete. So there's actually a few things that was not shown in the demo. We have a sign-in page with options for Google, Microsoft, or just a email address and password. There's also a settings page, and in order for the reviewer to be able to send the professor the report easily, there's a print report or export report button right here, which creates a PDF containing all the content.
Now moving on to the upcoming features. We named it nicely, but these are the features that we're going to include within the time frame of this project. So the client export, okay, that should be it. Thank you for listening. Do you guys have any questions?
I'll start. I think I heard you say the word agent. No. Did I hear that? No, I didn't hear it. So this is not, there's nothing agentic about this particular system.
No. That's LLM. But the LLM is prompted by the rubric chunk. So it's deterministic.
No. It's both deterministic and it calls an LLM too. So it does two types of checks.
Okay.
Yeah. Because once you check a specific module, it's very vague, right? So in the rubric that the client provided us, it's not very specific. For example, if a course has to provide opportunities for students, so it's very vague, like what kind of opportunity. It's not like if-then statements. So for that, we gotta ask the client for another type of file. On a 1 hour call, we were able to get access to Canvas sandbox where we had access as a teacher profile, and we could test what the AI produced with the actual course, if it's accurate or not. Yeah.
Thank you.
You say scalability is 30,000 plus users. Is that scalable to all the community colleges who would have college courses?
Yes, possibly. Also, the number is what the client provided us made up.
Since this is working with things that are going into Canvas, do you anticipate this being separate from Canvas or possibly integrated into Canvas?
The client wanted us to integrate that into Canvas if possible, but we couldn't do it.
That would also be convenient.
Canvas
Yeah, but if that does happen, that means we would also eliminate the need to convert from IMSCC to JSON.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Next up, we have ContrackT, which is Team 3. Judges, it's Team 3. And this is ContrackT.
I don't know if it's still up or not.
Yeah, I'll you got it.
What's up at some point?
You tried. You got it.
Is that
All right. Ready? Okay. So you want to stand right here. So the person is going to be on the white. Get it first. Get it first. Okay. Ready? All right, judges, Team 3, and this is ContrackT.
Hello everyone, we are Team ContrackT. My name is Oshada Bendara. I am a student at El Camino College.
I'm Elijah Steger. I'm from Cuesta College.
I'm Orlando Joaquin. I'm from San Diego Community College.
Hi, my name is Lillian, and I'm at Anza College.
And I'm Adam. I'm from Foothill College. Today we're going to share our project, which is a contract management system we built for the Foothill-De district. Before we start, I'd like to share a little story. This is the story that inspired this project. So this is Adam. He is a hardworking employee who manages all the insurance contracts and makes sure everything's paid and ready for the service agreements. He's really good at his job, but there's so many concurrent contracts that sometimes things slip through the crack. One day, there's an important deadline, and Adam hears the words that no one wants to hear. Adam, that insurance is already expired. The next 48 hours is panicked as Adam tries to get a new contract in place and make sure that everything's ready. And in the end, it all works out. But Adam thinks there must be a better way. It's not the people, it's the process. That's what we'd like to share.
All right, so when we looked at the numbers, we realized the significance of this solution. So the district is processing around 1,800 to 2,000 POs or purchase orders, and roughly around 700 to 800 service contracts. So that's about 40% of all purchase orders that needs to be managed with contracts. So what we did pretty much is, by centralizing the process, we estimate that with ContrackT, we could, with ContrackT, we could estimate we can reduce around 200 administrative hours a year, while also reducing the risk of missing any, any contract expirations or missing any renewals or things like that. Now, those aren't just numbers with this, but also like optimizing this, we can also give time back to the employees so that they can spend the time helping the students instead of just working on paperwork.
So today in the FHDA district, contract information is decentralized. Records are spread across different departments, making it difficult to know where contracts and insurance policies are located. It also leaves room for duplicate errors within the districts when they're interacting with vendors. Tracking also happens manually, so this increases the chance for human error, and it also makes it difficult to track vendor information and contract terms. With the lack of a management system, there's very little to no visibility into compliance requirements, and it's hard to look at data at a glance. As a result, departments that miss contract expirations face financial, legal, and/or operational risks, all because critical information wasn't readily available. And that's exactly why we created ContrackT. Instead of relying on spreadsheets, ContrackT provides one centralized location for complete visibility. Automatic email notifications alert users before contracts expire. Documents are searchable in seconds, not hours, in addition to being stored in one place. Managers can instantly see upcoming expirations, insurance status, and contract information easily through a dashboard. Rather than reacting to problems like Adam did, the customer can prevent them before they even happen.
Yeah, and I would like to take you through a demo. And so this first page is you can see the dashboard, and you can see all the active and expired contracts, and you can sort and search for specific ones. Here you can see the upload, so you drag it directly into the website and it drops into our S3 bucket. And here Claude Sonnet parses the information and allows for the user to check it before it uploads for accuracy. It also provides a helpful summary in case you need that later. Once you upload it, the insurance links directly to its corresponding service agreement and vice versa. And you can also see contracts that are nearing expiration. And so one thing that our sponsor asked for was a way to be alerted when contracts were about to expire. So we sent an automatic email 30 days and also 2 weeks before the contract expires. That way Adam has enough time to do what he needs to do.
Okay, so now to the important stuff. So obviously our AWS architecture, we do start with our users. They facilitate the HTTP request through our API gateway, which then invokes a Lambda, which gets our initialized website code from Flask, which is also stored in the another S3 bucket. But for the main function of our website, which is obviously the contract uploading, we do have, once it's uploaded, it's stored in the S3 bucket. And then once it's stored in the S3 bucket, a Lambda invokes an S3 put option, which initiates the Bedrock parsing or AI field extraction. If this were to fail, we do have TextRact as a fallback for Bedrock, but we would hope this wouldn't happen, obviously. This is then DynamoDB stores all the data from parsing the docs, so that we can use filters on all the data. And then finally, SES sends out contract expiration emails so that we can keep Adam happy. Okay.
And so while we do have a fully functional MVP, there were some next steps that our client wanted us to implement and some things to just make our site more secure. So first is user authentication. We would do this using AWS's IAM, and this would do role-based so that only people who need to edit and view these documents are able to edit and view these documents. The second thing, and this was brought up during the meeting with our sponsor, is that currently all of the process is like in people's heads right now. So converting that to a knowledge base and then a FAQ guide and or chatbot to more easily access that information. And then lastly, document upload validation, making sure that only the documents that we want on the website or want to be tracked are tracked. So if it's not an agreement or a COI, it doesn't get accepted. And then if it is an updated agreement or COI, replacing and archiving these duplicates. Instead of manually tracking contracts and worrying about missed deadlines, ContrackT gives users one reliable place to manage everything. We put the track in ContrackT. This message is Adam approved. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Dean. Great job. And that last picture, Adam, your arm seemed a little funny. I don't know what's going on there. Was that Gemini?
Yeah, Gemini decided to take some creative liberties.
Yeah, okay. All right, what questions do we have? We got one from Zach in the back there.
Can you go back to the architecture slide really quick? Yeah. So I'm curious, are you rendering your client code from S3 through Flask through Lambda through API gateway, or is that being done separately?
I believe it is all through. It is like all the website code is in our Flask, and the Lambda is invoking it and showing everything to the user through our API gateway.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, other questions?
Could this be replicated for other districts and scale?
Yeah, absolutely. And so the biggest part of this project wasn't the architecture, it was actually the process. And so the biggest pain point with our client wasn't that their process wasn't working, it was that there was no process. And so this could absolutely be replicated district by district. And we'd want to work closely with the clients at those districts to get a process in place and also connect it to whatever services they're already using. For example, like a DocuSign or whatever databases they're storing it in.
If you want to look for duplicate contracts, so two different departments are purchasing the same thing, that centralized could have reduced the cost of the contract. Do you envision a way that you could add that in, and where would you add that in if you could?
You're saying to notice duplicate contracts, and yeah, so that would likely be in the parsing step. So in that step, all the information from the document is pulled out into our database. And when that happens, we could check any IDs, for example, vendor ID or like purchase orders, or and so in that stage, if there was a duplicate, that could be flagged, and then the user could either replace it or cancel the upload or something like that. But yeah, for the MVP, that's something that we thought about and then decided was beyond the scope.
Great. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, team. And next up, we have Team 10, Golden West Transcript Assistant. Come on down. Okay. All right, judges, this is going to be Team 10. All right, there you go.
Private and out of California students, they usually face the uncertainty of so long time waits for transcript evaluation. Usually it's a notice of 7 to 10 days of business, or even longer than that, or around 2 weeks and above. This is where we comes in and innovate the transcript assistance for Golden West Valley College to make the school welcomes new students faster than ever, with the help of AWS, my bad. We're Team 10 with Minhua from the Anza College.
Laurel Skirko, Foothill College.
I'm Esmeralda Lopez from East Los Angeles College.
I'm Robin from Coastline College.
And I'm Liam from San Diego Miramar College.
We're proud to take our next step to make the evaluation process on transcript faster than ever.
First of all, a rather obvious question, but a show of hands, how many have ever transferred to another school and or graduated from a school? All right, I would imagine nearly 100%. And so everyone has been touched by the evaluation department, who we had the opportunity to meet at Golden West College. We're going to give you a case example of a group that just, in fact, completed their applications last week, the nurses. They're applying for nursing school, their program will start shortly. Their applications were due last week, and the evaluation team received 2,000 applications, which they proudly and expertly processed within 2 weeks. It's a team of 4 people, which is an incredible amount of effort because of the 10% of non-standard cases that Min referred to. These non-standard cases are out of state or private schools, but also those students with long transcripts that are 2 to 3 pages. This team of 4 people works incredibly hard to get their work done, and they'd like to spend a little bit more time on the evaluation and not just searching for material online. So let me give you a sense of the breadth of this problem. It's a problem that affects Golden West College, but also every college in the United States currently. So we're hoping that this solution can be one that would affect everyone. And to give you a sense of how odd it is, do you know that among the 4,000 colleges in the United States, colleges and universities, we have 6 districts. But there's, even though there are 6 accrediting bodies generally across the US from the West Coast to the East, each school has differences such that even Algebra 101 might not be the same one school to the next, and might prevent a student from being able to start a program, or if they're in a program, to graduate. So let's move on and look at the steps involved in he's going to turn on his live demo.
We're going to start a live demo here. We're going to start with just uploading a transcript, since it will take a little while. So this is Now we'll get back to.
Thank you. So there are basically 3 steps involved. You'll see that this is the kind of challenge that this team of 4 people is facing. Number 1, they have to search for material. They have to search across long transcripts. They have to go to websites to find their catalogs, to pull the information, number 1. Number 2, then they have to evaluate it in such a level of detail that you would not believe. I'll go into in a second. And then finally they score the students and they're able to hand off to the admissions teams from the different departments that they're representing to make the final selection. They do all of this in 2 weeks. Now let's zoom in and look at another view, which is a timeline. So across the right, upper right, you'll see weeks 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the clock that's ticking right now at Golden West College. And then along the left, you'll see some of the steps we broke out. So the red box is what this team is responsible for. Many steps. The search part is at the top, those top small boxes, and then the evaluation part is on the slight right to that, and at the very end, they apply a score. So we just wanted to give you then finally a sense of what they're looking for in these applications and online. They're just looking for 3 things, really. The course description, the grade and the credits, and finally when they took it. So that's what they're busy scraping. So next, I'll just move on and say that we love the passionate words of our client, Richette Bell, who said her evaluators know what's at stake. They hustle, they get the top ratings that I mentioned for the work that they do across the entire district, and they asked us to come up with a solution, which we'll talk about next.
So because our client emphasized the importance to reduce the need to do manual work such as data entry and improve the accuracy while also speeding up the process, the dashboard was designed to minimize the time it takes to do research on private colleges or out-of-state colleges. And now I'm going to do a little walkthrough for you all. So on the top left corner, it displays the student's information, in this case, Maria Garcia, who is applying for computer science in the fall term. She has 3 courses that she needs to fulfill for this major. And in the center, it displays the course description from her college, and on the other side, it's Golden West course description. And at the bottom, it's the evaluation criteria, which shows that in this case, the AI approved each element, and now the evaluator has the option to either approve or override the AI's decision. And next, it's going to display an AI error summary that that references the policies, which explains why or why not that the course counts as credit for Golden West College. And finally, the evaluator can just submit their final evaluation and move on to the next course to review. And now I'm going to pass it over to Liam, who's going to talk about the...
So the first part of our backend is parsing transcript. So we use Bedrock Data Automation, or BDA. What's wonderful about BDA is when used with Bedrock Blueprint, it automatically extracts commonly expected field rather than researching whole document with regex. So that's very convenient. And the data is very static and well structured, so it can be stored in the Amazon or Postgres for easy management. However, since AI can't be 100% accurate yet, we need a verification step with a human in the loop. So we can verify any missing or incorrect value by looking at it side by side. And of course, if there's any change to be made, we can add or delete the values. We chose to use AWS step functions in order to orchestrate the full pipeline from transcript upload to preliminary evaluation, ready for review by an evaluator. Using step functions also allowed us to keep track of and orchestrate multiple parallel calls to Bedrock, which allowed us to reduce latency and improve accuracy compared to making a single request. We use this approach both for course evaluations, which we also use Claude Sonnet 5 on Bedrock for to maintain good accuracy at a reasonable price, and for parsing course catalogs, which we also use Bedrock Data Automation for.
And the result of this is a robust AI augmented evaluator workflow. So each of 3 processes that Laura mentioned before will have involvement of AI and automation. Data retrieval and course catalog will be in the hands of AI. Evaluation will have AI helping in that, and also have counselors and human review each case to get involved to pull up the most accurate final score about the proportion of course could be articulated.
Now I'm going to show the results of our live demo that we uploaded earlier. So you can see here that we've got courses from South Puget Sound Community College, from this student, for the nursing program, and these 6 courses are required. So AI thinks that these are perfectly fine for articulation, but it lists its reasoning here for why these may not actually articulate. The counselor can choose to approve or reject those results.
And the impact of this project is absolutely massive, because we are predicted with this project in the scope of
Finish the last 2 sentences, yeah.
200 applications, we're gonna predict to save a lot of times, 12 times less. And also we predict to save around $13,000 in the process, and we are predicted to take this even further.
Thank you. Good job, team. I appreciate the way you were kind of delineating human versus machine and keeping human agency in this. All right, 1 or 2 questions tops.
Is that limited only for the course in California or any 12 different states or even international?
Well, since Assist already helps with California colleges, we were just focused on being able to minimize the research it takes when like a student from an out-of-state or a private college wants to transfer to Golden West Community College.
Does it only work in California?
The opposite.
The college that we used in our live demo data from is South Puget Sound Community College, which is in Washington State. So no, it is not California exclusive. It's actually focused mainly on schools that are outside of California, since they already have Assist.org and other tools for within California articulations.
Great. Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so give yourselves all a round of applause. Those were amazing presentations. Campers, you did such a great job. We saw a really wonderful round all day today of presentations and solutions to some of these thorny problems that your challenge sponsors gave us. Judges, take a minute to look at your spreadsheets. I'm going to let you go out and confer in just a moment. But before we do that, campers, you would not have been able to do these projects if it wasn't for some of the support that you had during the week. So mentors, if you are a mentor or counselor, can you stand up for a minute so we can recognize all the support and all the work that you've done this week? So those are student mentors. Thank you, Elena, Judah, Nick, Darren, Andrew, Ryan, Nick. None of this would have happened. You could not have been as successful in coming up with these solutions if it wasn't for all of you. So thank you very much for all you've contributed. Okay, judges, you get to go outside. You have about 10 minutes to confer. Oh, do it in 5. Great. We are all going to take a networking break. So if you haven't captured everybody's LinkedIn, or if you want to go talk to somebody and ask them a question about their solution, do that. We are taking a 10-minute break. And as soon as they come back, we're going to start the most fun part of the week, which is awards and closing ceremonies. All right? Thank you. Closing ceremonies. I'm going to hand it over to all of you.
Okay, don't sit down yet, Anu. We have a very special award first to start off the main awards. I'll let Ryan present that.
takes a lot of work. There's about 1 trillion details to doing an event like this, and Anu, for your valor and your heroism. It's for making post-it notes into to-do lists.
They're not going to make a whole lot of post-it notes.
For next year?
For next year.
Okay, good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to give out the general awards first. And I have to tell you guys, this is crazy. We had a 4-way tie for second place. This has never happened before. So that is how close the scores were. And there's only a 1-point difference between first and second. So literally there's a large cluster at the front, and that's how close you guys were. So very impressed, and thank you for all of those great presentations. So I'll start with third place, and then we'll go obviously up to front. So Nick's going to grab a bronze trophy. The third place team is... Drum roll. Yes, drum roll. Golden West Transcript Evaluator. Come on down. Picture?
Taking photos.
Here. Hold on, Andrea's got it. Okay.
All right.
Yay.
Thank you, guys. And the highest placed second place team after voting in a small fist fight will be... Drum roll. Drum roll. The Anza student scheduler. Nice work. And I couldn't vote for this team because I helped them a lot. So.
Come step up front so your picture can... All right.
Speech.
Woo! All right. Perfect. All right. Thank you, guys. All right. The first place team, drum roll please. Lemoore Call Center. Come on down. We want all the teams to come back to do a group photo of the top 3.
Second and 3, if you can come back real quick. Come on. That way we can get a big... Andrea, are you good from there? I don't know. Some people come down, yeah. Might have to come down for a second. So you go that way because there's a bar here. Can you see everybody? Darren, Ryan, where are we going? So they're going to go in the front. So that's fine. I'm going to go in the back. And I'll do it here at the center.
Over here too. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, great.
All right, Nick's going to lead us off in individual awards here.